Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Undead Lord, Unlimited Synthetic Wraith Great Emperor at the start. Chapter 21. Death Knight approached again, and the group of bosses under the bones suddenly became commotion. Unknowingly, Lin Shu already has the ability to influence this battle. The boss army is in commotion, and they rush out to kill the Death Knight first. But I am afraid that the White Jade skeletons will take the opportunity to replace the bones. They will come too late. It takes half a day to replace a bone, but the White Jade bone knife is in the hands of the White Jade skeleton. It takes just a few seconds to cut out a piece of white bone and replace the bones in your body. It came early, and now most of the bones in its body have been replaced. Really give it a chance. Once all the bones in the body are replaced, strength will inevitably be reborn. By then, even if they get together, they will never be its opponents. The boss army is in a dilemma, and the White Jade skeleton does not dare to neglect. It is weak and has a poor foundation. It took most of its bones to be replaced to be able to block these boss legions. If no external force appeared, it would have had a chance to breathe. At this moment, it had already been forced to abandon this treasure and run away. Now that there is external force, it is a little unwilling to escape like this. But if it really keeps fighting, it doesn't feel like there's much hope. I couldn't help but feel a little confused for a while. Among the three parties, Lin Shu is not in a hurry at all. He is very satisfied with today's harvest. He doesn't care if the blood moon comes at night, he can afford it. He didn't believe it. How could these bosses be greedy in front of the treasure? Sure enough, the confrontation did not last long. Perhaps there are differences within the boss army. After all, several bosses have had their bones replaced. The rest are still waiting eagerly, naturally unwilling to give up like this. The White Jade skeleton is completely replaced with only a few root bone heads missing. By then, it will be completely transformed. That's it when you can't beat him. Now that there are foreign aides here, naturally, he is not willing to give up the treasure. A skeletal frame like a skeletal dragon couldn't bear it anymore, and its tail suddenly swept out. Instead of attacking the White Jade skeleton, he hit a piece of white bone hard. Click. The clear sound of cracking bones came, and it was not bones that were broken, but its tail. Kakaka. The bone dragon grinned, its mouth opened and closed. The other bosses seemed to have finally reacted, and they all found a piece of bone and began to pull it apart with all their strength. Kakaka. The mouth of the White Jade skeleton opens and closes, and the soul fire keeps flashing. For the first time, he did not attack, but the knife in his hand flickered. He raised the knife and started to chop the bones. Do you want to be dirty? Lin Shu raised his eyebrows and cursed loudly. These idiots bullied him into not being able to understand the language of the dead. Have you started dividing the spoils? Kakaka. Death Knight nodded in agreement, opening and closing his mouth as if he was saying something. Quote. Lin Shu looked at the serious Death Knight with a pained face. Do you understand them? Kaka. Death Knight nodded. That's it. Lin Shu's eyes flickered, and suddenly her heart moved. In this case, you go find the White Jade skeleton, and tell him to join forces with him to kill those bosses. After the thing is done, the bones are up to him, and the boss's body belongs to me. If you don't agree, then unite with the boss army to kill him. Ka. Death Knight said something and actually walked towards the White Jade skeleton. Is this okay? Lin Shu originally just tried it, but she didn't expect it to actually work. This hero is indeed different from the soldiers. The soldiers are completely dull and can only execute orders. At most it has a little combat instinct. I don't know if that's okay. Lin Shu watched Death Knight leave, thinking anxiously. In fact, he had no idea. However, he obviously overestimated the boss's IQ. Death Knight's approach made the group of bosses under the bones alert, but Death Knight's strength was not weak. None of them dared to act rashly. Kakaka. Quote. Lin Shu only saw a group of skeletons with their mouths opening and closing, making clicking sounds. The next second, the White Jade skeleton suddenly made a sliding shovel, and the White Jade bone knife in his hand instantly cut off the right leg of an unlucky guy. Charge. Death Knight has quick eyesight and quick hands, and he charges directly with the unlucky boss out of the bones. The next second, the battle in the bones begins. Kill. Lin Shu was overjoyed and ordered a group of bosses to come forward. The unlucky boss was dismantled 3 times, 5 times and 2 times, and then the skeleton knight's giant sword was stabbed into the head. The soul fire was instantly crushed and extinguished. Acquire 500 experience. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Lin Shu didn't have time to check the harvest. A group of bosses among the bones were obviously angry. Roaring crazily, he rushed towards the white jade skeleton, and 2 bosses rushed directly out of the bones and rushed towards the Death Knight. Charge. Ghost fire shooter, fight. Lin Shu is not afraid. If these bosses had the courage to risk everything in the first place, it's really impossible for me to take advantage of this. But now, 2 rank 5 bosses are not impossible to defeat. Click. Skeleton Knight directly separated the 2 bosses with 1 charge, and Ghost Fire Shooter's crazy output. Death Knight aimed at another boss and casually put a lightless shield on Skeleton Knight. Then the charge skill is activated. The war between the undead is silent. At most, there is only the clicking sound of some bones colliding. But in the deserted cemetery of size, this sound can be ignored. Kakaka. The first boss angrily got up from the ground and slashed hard at Skeleton Knight. If under normal circumstances Skeleton Knight, whose level has not even been upgraded, is likely to be killed immediately. But with the aphotic shield on, Skeleton Knight made a batch. The spear in his hand stabbed the boss desperately, standing directly on the spot and fighting it. The flame swordsman of Ghost Fire Shooter shoots at the boss with crazy output, but the operation is as fierce as a tiger. After beating for a long time, not even a single bone fragment was removed. It's different on the other side. Death Knight's charge directly broke a large piece of the boss's body. After landing, before he could recover, the Death Knight cut off his head with a knife. The next second, the big knife penetrated its head, and the soul fire was extinguished instantly. Clean and neat, the hero's combat power is fully displayed. The 2 powerful skeleton swordsmen who just came over didn't even have time to get an assist. After the first boss is solved, the ending of the second one is decided. The Death Knight returned on a bone horse and beheaded him with a broadsword. 2 rank 5 bosses were killed without even holding on for 10 seconds. The Death Knight turned his horse's head and prepared to kill the bones. Lin Shu quickly stopped it. Etc. Let them fight first. Lin Shu's eyes flickered, looking under the bones. At this moment, a group of bosses are completely on fire, and there is no possibility of stopping. There are only 9 bosses left, and they are evenly matched with the white jade skeleton. No one can do anything to anyone. This is the most perfect battle situation he pursues. How can it be broken easily? The boss, the bones, are all mine. Lin Shu's eyes flashed, and his ambition was completely aroused. He had a hunch that this might be one of the best opportunities in the cemetery of size. Definitely not to be missed. Arguing with a skeleton. What a funny brain. Lin Shu sneered. He was not stupid. How could he really help the white jade skeleton kill the boss legion and let it pick the bones? If you replace one of these bones with any boss, you will obviously feel that it is stronger. Even a fool knows that this is a good thing. Of course, it is impossible to take advantage of others, let alone a boss. He can guarantee that even if the white jade skeleton is not intact, it will not be safe. Maybe she's still plotting against him. Don't worry yet, let them fight. We will come out again when the battle becomes unbalanced. Lin Shu smiled and glanced at the bones battlefield. Then he looked at the 2 boss corpses at his feet. He just killed one before he had time to clean it up. Now I have killed 2 more. The loot has not been counted and the battlefield has not been cleaned. This is all real wealth. Lin Shu asked Death Knight to keep an eye on the bones battlefield, and then began to look through the battle log. Acquire 500 experience. Obtain skill upgrade scroll. Obtain Pure Soul Fire 4. This is from the previous boss, with a slightly lower explosion rate. Only 2 things exploded, both of them familiar and nothing much to say. Then came the 2 bosses just now. Acquire 500 experience. Obtain Pure Soul Fire 3. Obtain Staff of Withered Vine. Get Book of Command. Acquire 500 experience. Obtain Pure Soul Fire 2. Obtain Skill Book Necromancer Recruitment Technique. Obtain Skill Upgrade Scroll. Another necromancer recruitment book. Lin Shu was dumbfounded. Skill books are all good things. But he had already exploded one just now, and now another one is of no use. But if you sell it, you will definitely get a good price. It's still the old rule, just use the command book if you need it. The command power has been increased to 18 points, and there are 2 skill upgrade scrolls. Still put all the points into the Skeleton Warrior recruitment technique, and it was directly upgraded to level 5. Skeleton Warrior recruitment technique LV5. After use, 10 skeleton warriors can be recruited from the bones. A level 5 skeleton warrior can directly recruit 10 skeleton warriors at once. If this level existed yesterday, I am afraid that rank 5 troops would have been synthesized yesterday. Wand of Withered Vine. Blue. Attack distance plus 100 meters. Attack plus 1100. Mana recovery speed plus 10 per minute. Entanglement. Entanglement the enemy for 2 seconds, and the boss effect is halved. Recruitment LV plus 1. Introduction. A staff made from dead vines crawling out of a mysterious tomb, which has magical effects. A blue staff type equipment. Lin Shu currently has no troops under his command that can use it. But it's just right for him. The increased mana recovery speed can help him get rid of the embarrassing situation of sitting on the ground and resting without mana. The most important thing is that there is a special effect of recruitment skill LV plus 1. This is a magical skill for him. He currently has 3 recruitment skills: Skeleton Warrior, Skeleton Archer, and Necromancer. This special effect can take effect on all 3 recruitment techniques. This means that the Skeleton Warrior recruitment technique that has just been upgraded to LV5 instantly becomes LV6, and the other 2 types also directly reach LV2. The LV6 Skeleton Warrior recruitment technique can directly recruit 12. Although the skill level has increased, Lin Shu feels a little depressed. His commanding ability should be at the forefront among all the new lords. A Knight of Green Cave Mansion brought 4 points of growth, and the 2 command books added 4 points. It soared directly to 18 points. Even if Eten breaks into the Blue Cave Mansion, he will only gain 6 points in one night. If there were no adventures, his leadership would be lower than his own. But now, one recruitment technique can directly recruit 12 soldiers. His commanding power is actually a bit insufficient. Recruiting, Skeleton Warrior. However, a high skill level is always a good thing. He currently only has a weak rank 5 Death Knight under his command. A weak rank 4 Skeleton Knight, 2 strong rank 3 Skeleton Swordsman, and a weak rank 4 Ghost Fire Shooter. Recruiting 12 is barely possible. Get Powerful Skeleton Swordsman 12. It is still a stable and strong rank 3 unit, and the fresh bones of rank 5 boss are indeed not enough. Awesome. Synthesize it all. Lin Shu did not hesitate and directly synthesized it all. Get Powerful Skeleton Knight 1. Get Elite Skeleton Knight 1. Lin Shu was speechless. She is fine now. There are only 11 points of command left. Ghost Fire Shooter. Lin Shu's eyes were on Ghost Fire Shooter. If he had known it before, he would not have recruited long-range ones. But it's too late now. I can only give up one. Recruiting, Skeleton Warrior. Lin Shu shook his head and gave up the idea of getting rid of Ghost Fire Shooter. Long-range arms are still necessary, not to mention this is a rank 4 arm. It is something that no one can ask for from other lords. Get Powerful Skeleton Swordsman 11. Sure enough, this recruitment only resulted in 11 Skeleton Swordsmen. Synthesis. Continue the synthesis and obtain a powerful Skeleton Knight. An ordinary Skeleton Knight. Continue to synthesize. Get Elite Skeleton Knight 1. Get Powerful Skeleton Knight 1. Get Skeleton Warlord 1. Death Knight. Synthesize. Finally, another rank 5 unit appeared. Lin Shu directly opened the synthesis bar and put the Death Knight on it. Get Elite Skeleton Warlord Death Knight LV16. Elite Skeleton Warlord Death Knight LV16. 5-star heroes. Life, 7200. Mana, 7200. Attack, 5500 plus 1200. Defense, 4800. Damage reduction plus 9%. Attack plus 3%. Skill, critical hit. There is a 26% chance of causing 500% damage to the enemy when attacking. Charge, crash into the enemy at an extremely fast speed, causing it to be stunned for 3 seconds and causing an additional 350% damage. Charge ignores terrain restrictions. Aphotic Shield. Adds a shield to the target, absorbs 1.5 times the damage of health points, then breaks into pieces and transfers the absorbed damage to all nearby enemies. Death Entanglement. Consume a certain amount of one's own life, cause double damage to the enemy or restore double life to teammates. Buff. Netherworld Wraith Emperor's Blessing recovers 100 points of life per second in non-combat state, and the effect is halved in combat state. Introduction. The heroes in Skeleton Warlord have unlimited potential. The 5-star hero has initially demonstrated the strength of Transcendent. Attributes transcend the limitations of arms, and the base life is as high as 450. Even compared to the weak rank 6 troops, it's not far behind. But what surprised Lin Shu was that there was another entry under the Death Knight's attribute column. Damage reduction 9%, attack plus 3%. Lin Shu was a little confused. Once combined, an entry appeared. Could this be related to my synthetic talent? It's a pity that I was busy synthesizing heroes just now and didn't pay attention to the attributes of Skeleton Warlord. Otherwise there might be an answer. Go on, recruit skeleton warriors. However, Lin Shu didn't take it too seriously. Enhanced attributes are always a good thing. After taking a look at the military units, there were only 6 left after a round of synthesis, leaving just 12 places. Corresponds to the last boss corpse. Get. Powerful Skeleton Swordsman 12. Synthetic. Skeleton Knight. Lin Shu pondered slightly, not fully synthesizing everything. Instead, it is synthesized directly to Skeleton Knight. Get. Skeleton Knight 6. It's time to prepare for harvest. Everything was ready. Lin Shu slowly stood up and looked at the battlefield. It's time for this battle for bones to come to an end. Under the bones, a group of bosses are still fighting to death. He didn't realize that Lin Shu had already defeated the 2 chasing bosses. Seeing the Death Knight approaching slowly, the White Jade Skeleton was immediately overjoyed. It can be considered evenly matched against 9 bosses, but it is extremely difficult to defeat them. Now that Death Knight is here, it means it has a big helper. Just help kill 1 or 2 bosses and there will be no suspense in this battle. However, the next second, the White Jade Skeleton suddenly became angry. Target, White Jade Skeleton. Lin Shu sneered and issued the attack order. Death Knight immediately charged forward and knocked the White Jade Skeleton away violently. It hit hard on a thick white bone. Click. An unreplaced bone in the chest of the White Jade Skeleton broke instantly and inserted into the chest. If it were a flesh and blood life, it would be seriously injured even if it was not dead. Kakakaka. However, there is no other category of undead creatures, they just have strong vitality. The White Jade Skeleton seemed to be fine, even immune to the stun effect of the charge. After getting up, he slashed hard at the Death Knight. Aphelis Shield. Death Knight is unafraid. As a hero, he is equivalent to a boss template. And it has many skills after synthesis. Bosses of the same level are like chopping melons and vegetables in its hands. Laugh. The White Jade Bone Knife sliced through the aphotic shield, and there was a heart-wrenching sound. Then a big number floated over Death Knight's head. Minus 3,896. Lin Shu's eyes almost bulged out when he saw the huge damage. He killed half of the Death Knight's health with one blow. No wonder those bosses immediately lost their ability to resist after being sliced by this guy. The damage was really outrageous. Good stuff, I want it. Rationally and greedily looking at the bone knife in the hand of the White Jade Skeleton, this is definitely a good thing. Caw caw caw. The sudden change made a group of bosses stunned for a moment, and then they were ecstatic. Their simple minds obviously couldn't figure out why the Death Knight suddenly started attacking the White Jade Skeleton. But having a strong teammate is obviously a good thing. After being stunned for a moment, a group of bosses suddenly swarmed up. Slashed towards the White Jade Skeleton. Retreat. Lin Shu looked coldly and ordered again. Conflict has arisen, and the next step is to sit back and watch both sides lose. Death Knight held a lightless shield and resisted the White Jade Skeleton twice without losing any bone fragments. It withstood the attack, and other bosses swarmed up and immediately put the White Jade Skeleton into trouble. At this moment, as Death Knight retreated, it breathed a sigh of relief. Brush. White Jade Bone Knife is just like a divine weapon, it will hurt wherever it touches. The white jade skeleton in a violent state is simply invincible. Lin Shu's eyes flashed and he stood in the distance staring at the battlefield, occasionally ordering the Death Knight to attack once. Or occasionally put a mad shield on a certain boss, trying to reconcile the equal situation between both parties. The two sides fought fiercely, and they were completely furious. If the white jade skeleton has the upper hand, go up and give him a few knives to slow him down. When he's at a disadvantage, retreat to the back row and secretly kill a boss. Acquire 500 experience. Obtain skill upgrade scroll. Obtain Pure Soul Fire 3. Get Bronze Bone Spear. Not long after, a boss holding a bone spear was secretly killed by the Death Knight. The situation is balanced again. Bronze Bone Spear. Green. Attack plus 522. Knockback. There is a certain chance that the enemy will be forced back 3 meters when attacking. Introduction. The leg bones of a mysterious strong man were simply polished, which may contain more powerful power. Green equipment. It's okay. It is slightly stronger than the whiteboard equipment, but it is of no use to Lin Shu. Put it directly into the backpack and plan to see how to deal with it later. As the white jade skeleton's injuries continued to increase, its speed and flexibility were significantly reduced. But at the same time, Lin Shu was secretly harvesting boss after boss, always maintaining a balance in the battle. By the time they realize something is wrong, it's already too late. Charge, kill. Seeing the boss and the white jade skeleton gradually awakening, there are signs of a unified attitude toward the outside world. Lin Shu stopped covering up and gave the order directly. 6 skeleton knights instantly charged, aiming at a boss and sending them flying away. Die. Lin Shu ordered in his heart, Death Knight is like the god of death. The giant sword in his hand stabbed the boss's head hard, killing him instantly. The other bosses were all injured at the moment and couldn't react to the Death Knight's lightning attack. Before I could recover from the dizziness, I received the lunchbox completely. The remaining 5 bosses were all killed in less than 3 seconds. Kakakaka. The only remaining white jade skeleton, a leg bone that looked like white jade, had been cracked, and the entire left arm was broken. The right arm holding the white jade bone knife was also covered with cracks, and all the unreplaced bones in the chest were broken. Looking at this scene at this moment, I can only feel helpless and furious. My mouth opens and closes and collides up and down, making angry clicking sounds. It seems to be asking why Death Knight didn't keep his promise. The answer is the Death Knight's giant sword. The powerful white jade skeleton, after being besieged and entangled by more than a dozen bosses for several hours. At this moment, facing the Death Knight in its heyday, no matter how powerful it is, it can only lie down unwillingly. When the lightless shield on the Death Knight was broken, it immediately turned into a burst of pure death energy and merged into the body of the white jade skeleton. The white jade skeleton suddenly froze, and then the soul fire in his mind seemed to be soaked in water. Instantly extinguished. Acquire 500 experience. Get high quality soul fire 6. Get white jade bone knife. Obtain Book of Command 3. Obtain skill upgrade scroll 1. Obtained 28 silver coins. Get Cemetery of Sighs invitation. The moment the white jade skeleton fell, a series of notification sounds sounded in Lin Shu's mind. He immediately became overjoyed. It can only be said that he is worthy of being a strong man who can challenge the boss group alone. It can be said to be a big blast. Get rich. Get rich. The battlefield where the elk had been fighting for a long time finally subsided. Apart from the withered bones on the ground, there were giant white bones that were a little higher on the ground. Lin Shu's face flushed with excitement as she looked at the trophies in her backpack. It was true that he had waited patiently for nearly half a day, and the results could only be described as terrifying. 9 bosses, and a white jade skeleton. The white jade bone knife also exploded. Lin Shu was so excited that he arranged Death Knight and skeleton swordsmen to guard the surrounding area. He came under the bones, checked that there was no danger, and then sat down. Open your backpack and start counting the loot. The boss army has an average of 3 trophies for each boss. Among them, 3 leadership books, 6 skill upgrade scrolls, 20 pure soul fires. There are also 2 skill books. Mount Bone Horse Recruitment Technique. After using it, you will learn the Mount Bone Horse Recruitment Technique, and you can recruit a Mount Bone Horse by using it on the skeleton. The first one turned out to be a mount recruitment technique, which is undoubtedly quite high-end at this stage. Ordinary mounts have no attribute bonus, but they can greatly increase the Lord's marching speed. The place of trial is vast and boundless. There are 100,000 trainee lords in just one cemetery of size. However, it had been a day and a half, and Lin Shu had seen less than 20 lords. All of them were encountered while fighting for Cave Mansion last night. I didn't even encounter one at other times, so you can imagine how huge the cemetery of size is. In such a large map, marching on 2 feet. In the future, you will be able to see a golden cave mansion. It is not uncommon for you to travel all night and not be able to get there. In this case, the appearance of mounts is necessary. It can greatly increase the movement speed and is a must for the strong. Use it directly without hesitation. Lin Shu looked at the second book. Skeleton Warrior Advanced Recruitment Technique. After use, the Skeleton Warrior Recruitment Technique can be advanced and evolved into the Skeleton Guard Recruitment Technique. It's actually an advanced book. Lin Shu was a little surprised, but this is a good thing. It is a treasure that countless skeleton lords long for, and it can greatly improve a lord's strength. Skeleton Warrior is just the most basic undead race. His strength is extremely limited, and when he encounters an ordinary's bones, he recruits only the most rubbish skeletons. Zhan Wuzhe described it as exalting it. But if you upgrade to Skeleton Guard, it will be a rank 2 unit. No matter how rubbish the rank 2 unit is, it is countless times stronger than the Skeleton Warrior. It can be regarded as standing out in this new battlefield. Even for Lin Shu, it is very important. Although when encountering high-level skeletons, even the Skeleton Warrior recruitment technique can directly recruit high-level skeleton swordsmen. But this is just an opportunity. Most of the time, you can recruit. It is still only the lowest level Skeleton Warrior. To synthesize a Skeleton Guard, at least 16 Skeleton Warriors are needed. Now after advancing, you can directly recruit Skeleton Guard, which increases the efficiency by more than 10 times. Good stuff, use it. Without hesitation, Lin Shu used it directly. Looking at his Lord Attribute panel again, the first initial skill has changed. Skeleton Guard Recruitment LV6, spend 20 mana points to recruit 6 Skeleton Guards. It's now 6. Not bad. 7 skill upgrade scrolls, use them all. Lin Shu looked at the new skill with satisfaction and directly used all 7 skill upgrade scrolls on this skill. He has only one goal now, and that is to recruit skeleton warriors with all his strength. Use the fastest speed to create a 10-star hero. The balanced development of Ordinary's arms is the way to go, but now that there are heroes. Naturally, we need to give priority to the development of heroes. The strength of the heroes is enough to expand or even surpass the power of the cooperation of multiple arms. Skeleton Guard Recruitment Technique LV13. The trumpet can recruit up to 13 skeleton guards at a time with 30 mana points. In one day, I directly upgraded my skill to LV13. If this speed were told, it would probably be enough to make many powerful lords stunned. After sorting out the trophies of this boss army, Lin Shu was not in a hurry to recruit. Instead, he continued to look back and saw that the trophies from killing the white jade skeleton had not yet been sorted out. Among them, what caught Lin Shu's attention the most was the white jade bone knife, which looked like a work of art. White jade bone knife. Epic. Hero boss template only. Attack plus 3888. Attack plus 100%. Sharpness plus 99. Crit rate plus 10%. Crit damage plus 150%. Introduction. Transformed from the spine of a netherworld Wraith Emperor, indestructible. Hiss. It's actually an epic weapon. Lin Shu took a breath. Looking at these gorgeous attributes, she felt like her head was going to shut down. I knew this white jade bone knife was powerful, but I didn't expect it to be so exaggerated. Epic weapons are treasures that are hard to find in the Starry Sky battlefield. A treasure worthy of countless powerful lords breaking their heads to snatch, but he got it so easily. Attacks 4000, and doubles the extra, sharpness 99, critical hit. The spine of the Netherworld Wraith Emperor. Wait, this is the skeleton of the Netherworld Wraith Emperor. Lin Shu's face turned red with excitement, and her lips trembled when she saw this luxurious attribute. But he soon thought of something and looked at the giant white bones around him in disbelief. I feel like my breathing has stopped a little. Netherworld Wraith Emperor. Lin Shu felt confused when he looked at this giant white bone. Is this actually the skeleton of the Netherworld Wraith Emperor? Netherworld Wraith Emperor is the highest level existence of skeleton race. The supreme powerhouse of rank 10. Even if you look at the entire undead race, it is definitely a strong one. Each one of them was killed from the sea of blood from the mountain of corpses. Soul Fire, which has devoured countless undead souls, has a 1 in a billion chance of one appearing. And right in front of him, there is a corpse of this kind of existence right in front of him. No wonder these bosses are so crazy. Thinking about it this way, everything just happened makes sense. Just replacing one bone can make their strength a little stronger. The white jade skeleton clearly looks like a skeleton warrior at the lowest level, but after replacing most of its bones, it actually has the strength to fight against more than a dozen rank 5 bosses. This is enough to illustrate the power of Netherworld Wraith Emperor. An existence that has been dead for many years can create such a powerful existence with just a root bone. It's been posted. It's really been posted. Lin Shu was so excited that she almost fainted. Happiness came so suddenly. Command book, use it. Holding back her excitement, Lin Shu took out all the command books. Killing 9 bosses will give you 3 copies, and the white jade skeleton will give you 3 copies. A total of 6 command books directly increased his command power by 12 points, and his command power directly soared to 30 points. Recruit, Skeleton Guard. Using everything he could, Lin Shu looked at the bones on the ground. Those were the corpses of the boss legion and the white jade skeleton, which turned into bones all over the ground after death. Get. Skeleton Knight 13. Synthesis. Recruit. Get. Skeleton Knight 13. Get. Skeleton Knight 13. Recruiting while synthesizing, the advanced recruitment technique directly recruited the weak rank 4 Skeleton Knight. However, the number of recruits has been halved, which is actually the same as before the advancement. But this is what happens when he synthesizes talent. If it were replaced by someone else, 13 Skeleton Knights and 26 powerful Skeleton Warriors, any fool knows how to choose. All the boss bones required Lin Shu to recruit 6 times before they were consumed. A total of 78 weak rank 4 Skeleton Knights were recruited. It took Lin Shu half an hour to complete the synthesis. The main reason is that the cost of recruitment has been increased, and his mana is a bit insufficient. Fortunately, with the recovery brought by the staff and a little rest, I could barely replenish it. But the gains it brings are also extremely amazing. 78 Skeleton Knights, plus the 6 previously recruited Skeleton Knights that have not yet been synthesized. 84 in total. When all the synthesis is completed, the Death Knight will rise to 6 stars. Plus an extra powerful Skeleton Warlord. Powerful Skeleton Warlord LV1. Strong rank 5. Life, 400. Mana, 400. Attack, 280. Defense, 200. Life plus 3%. Skill, critical hit. There is a 25% chance of causing 450% damage when attacking. Strong attack aura. All nearby friendly forces attack plus 10%. It can be activated automatically by consuming 100 mana points. After activation, the effect is doubled and lasts for 10 seconds. Buff. Netherworld Wraith Emperor's Blessing recovers 50 points of life per second in non-combat state, and the effect in combat state is halved. Introduction. The brave and skilled skeleton warrior has the ability to lead a party. The troops with strong rank 5 have a basic health and blue of 400. If it is judged by Cave Mansion, it only needs to be upgraded to level 10 to crush the guardian beast of the Cyan Cave Mansion. It's not a problem to kill the Blue Cave Mansion guardian beast after practicing for a day. In other words, there is a rank 5 unit. It's enough to attack the Blue Cave Mansion. He is an absolute powerhouse in the trial field. The entry, 3% of life, is indeed brought about by synthesis. Lin Shu looked at the attribute in the attribute column of Powerful Skeleton Warlord and couldn't help but feel happy. Although 3% of life is not much, the increase in strength that comes when the level rises is huge. And looking at the attributes of Death Knight, he is sure that there is a certain chance that new entries will appear every time after rank 5 is synthesized. The increased strength of 1 is not big, but if there are 10 or 20, that is a bit exaggerated. Skeleton General Death Knight LV 17. 6 stars, weak rank 6. Life, 8,500. Mana, 8,500. Attack, 6,800 plus 10,688. Defense, 5,000. Damage reduction plus 9%. Attack plus 3%. Defense plus 10%. Skill, critical hit. There is a 27% chance of causing 500% damage to the enemy when attacking. Charge, crash into the enemy at an extremely fast speed, causing it to be stunned for 3 seconds and causing an additional 400% damage. Charge ignores terrain restrictions. Aphotic shield. Adds a shield to the target, absorbs 1.5 times the damage of health points, then breaks into pieces and transfers the absorbed damage to all nearby enemies. Death entanglement. Consume a certain amount of one's own life, causing double damage to the enemy or restoring double life to teammates. Blood-sucking aura. Adds a blood-sucking aura to nearby friendly units. Each time you attack the enemy, you can recover 5% of the life of the damage caused, and your own effect is doubled. Buff. Netherworld Wraith Emperor's Blessing recovers 200 points of life per second in non-combat state, and the effect is halved in combat state. Introduction. Heroes in Skeleton General, with unlimited potential. The 6-star Death Knight's attributes can only be described as amazing. The blood blue is close to 10,000, and the attack is even higher after switching to White Jade Bone Knife. Increased attack by more than 3,000, and an additional 100% increase. Let Death Knight's attack surpass life, reaching more than 17,000. With such an exaggerated output, Ordinary's rank 6 boss can be defeated in one blow. One more entry, plus 10% defense, better than nothing. The attributes of Death Knight can only be described as luxurious. I'm afraid there are countless lords who may not have the strength he has now after graduating from the trial ground, and now it's just his second day. The bones of the Netherworld Wraith Emperor. After everything was cleaned, Lin Shu stood up and looked at the final treasure. This huge skeleton is suspected to be the skeleton of the Netherworld Wraith Emperor. But now is not the time to use it, no matter how huge the giant bone is. After all, it is just a corpse. Once he uses the recruitment technique to recruit, it can only be recruited once, which means that only 13 skeletons can be recruited. The grade may be higher, but the quantity is limited after all. If you want to maximize your profits, it's best to upgrade your recruitment skills as much as possible. Lin Shu murmured to himself and opened the chat channel. He plans to buy some skill upgrade scrolls, as many as he can. After a day and night of baptism, the chat channel is now much more serious. It is more filled with the exchange and sharing of various information, as well as the trading of equipment, materials, including skill books. Skeleton Warrior Recruitment Technique. Replace it with long-range military recruitment technique. What a beautiful thought. The Skeleton Warrior Recruitment Technique is of no use. Who wants this thing? I want to buy 3 damaged soul fires, 10 copper coins each, for sale. I will give you an ordinary soul fire, 1 silver coin, no bargaining, first come, first served. I'm looking to buy Skeleton Archer recruitment skills. Some bosses have private conversations with prices. Publish a bone prison skill book, and you won't have to bargain for a single gold coin. Quote. Messages filled the chat channel, most of which were about buying or selling something. After a brief look, Lin Shu had a general understanding of the prices of these basic materials. The trial place is different from the outside world, so there is naturally no reference standard for the value of items. A piece of ordinary equipment can be sold for 10 copper coins. The supply exceeds the demand and countless lords are struggling to get it. Soul fire is the exclusive need of the strong, and its price exceeds that of ordinary equipment. Because soul fire is the easiest way for lords to improve the strength of their own troops. Troops within rank 2 only need to have a sufficient number of damaged soul fire to be upgraded. Ordinary soul fire can even upgrade troops to rank 4. Of course, soul fire is not easy to obtain. Ordinary monsters have a very low explosion rate and generally need to kill relatively powerful bosses to obtain them. However, upgrading a unit requires killing multiple bosses. Those lords who were lucky enough to get soulfire didn't use it enough. If you don't have extra money to buy, the best way is to sell it to someone who needs it, in exchange for other resources to enhance strength. After watching for a long time, Lin Shu frowned slightly. The soul fires here are all pure soul fires, but the chat channels are mostly damaged soul fires. He really doesn't know the price of pure soul fire. Pure soul fire can increase the strength of the troops to 5 to rank 6. Judging from the price increasing 10 times each time, damaged soul fire costs 10 copper plates and ordinary costs 1 silver coin, so pure soul fire should be sold for 10 silver coins. 1 portion. Lin Shu murmured to himself, the price should be no problem. But for the lords who have just entered the trial land, silver coins are undoubtedly a huge unit. What's more, can it be sold for 10 silver coins each? He wasn't sure either. Try it first. You have to try it even if you are not sure. If it doesn't work, then think of other methods. Lin Shu. Pure soul fire is released, the quantity is limited and the one with the highest price will win. Lin Shu directly posted Pure's soul fire attribute and sent his first message. The next second, the entire chat channel suddenly boiled. Pure's soul fire. Hiss. Lin Shu. Who is this boss? He can actually produce Pure's soul fire right now. Pure's soul fire can upgrade rank 4 troops to rank 5. You only need 1 copy to directly upgrade rank 1 troops to rank 3. Boss, how do you sell soul fire? I want it, sell it to me. I'll give you 3 silver coins. Brother, sell me 5 silver coins. Brother, this is all my wealth, sell it to me. This thing can only be dropped by a boss with at least rank 5, right? There doesn't seem to be anyone named Lin Shu in the top 10. Maybe I was lucky. I picked it up somewhere, right? If I just keep it for myself and get a rank 3 unit, maybe I can grab a Cyan Cave Mansion tonight. You're so lucky. Why can't I meet you? 6 silver coins, big brother, sell me. Quote. The chat channel was buzzing instantly. Soul fire is the simplest and most important way for ordinary undead lord to improve the strength of his troops. Every soul fire is the most precious and important resource. Pure soul fire is enough to instantly upgrade a rank 1 ordinary skeleton warrior into a rank 3 skeleton swordsman. The improvement in strength is simply a treasure that makes people jealous, and at this stage, it is even more unthinkable. Even for those powerful lords, it is a rare treasure. It can upgrade the rank 3 troops to rank 4. The highest level can even be upgraded from rank 5 to rank 6. Needless to say its preciousness, countless lords were exploded instantly. One after another, either out of envy, jealousy or desire, they all bid. However, those who bid in the chat channel often need to spend all their wealth to collect single-digit silver coins. Naturally, they are not Lin Shu's target customers. In fact, he didn't even have time to check the chat channel, because the private message filled his chat channel in an instant. There were hundreds of friend requests. Although there are many silver coins, the lord who has worked hard all day can still get a lot. The opportunity to improve your strength should not be missed. Everything within 10 silver coins will pass. Looking at the overwhelming number of friend requests, Lin Shu set a filter and felt much cleaner. There are only about a dozen left. After briefly looking at the names, they are all familiar. Astonishingly, they are among the top 20 lords on the ranking list. This is also expected. After all, the Cave Mansion ranking is not much different from the combat power ranking in a sense. Usually those who are powerful naturally have financial resources beyond ordinary people. Lin Shu's target customers are themselves. Fang Yifan, how many pure soul fires do you have? I want a 10Y share. Wang Yao, how many brothers does Lin have? I want 5 copies of 10Y. Is it available? Jong Ching Yong, I will pay 11Y per share, and I will receive as much as you have. Wang Buer, all the silver coins have just been used. Do you accept barter, brother? It can be seen from the words that these strong men are rich and powerful, and pure soul fire is obviously of great use to them. After all, it is a treasure that can be upgraded to rank 6. As long as a certain amount is collected to complete an advancement. Their strength will also be greatly improved, and they may be able to challenge the Blue Cave Mansion at night. Lin Shu browsed through it several times and found that there was no news about the most powerful Eten. It's a pity. In his opinion, this guy is definitely a rich man. As the first Blue Cave Mansion owner. Moreover, he starts as a rank 7 soldier, so he is the son of destiny. He finds his current strength a bit unimaginable. However, if you think about it carefully, it is expected. Etien's rank 7 unit starts at the beginning. This kind of pure soul fire can only be upgraded to rank 6 at most. It is a treasure to others, but it is useless to him. In comparison, the few bones he cut here were probably more attractive to Eten than pure soul fire. But it is naturally impossible for Lin Shu to do this and give Eten a pile of bones. This guy will probably recruit several rank 7 soldiers every minute. It will be difficult for me to catch up with him by then. He will not engage in business that is done by capitalizing on the enemy. Lin Shu felt a little pity that the big fish Eten was not caught in the net. But he soon became too lazy to care about it. Each of these customers in front of him was a well-known and powerful person. With them, it's enough for the time being. Pure soul fire, the starting bid is 10Y per copy, the highest bidder will get it, the quantity is limited and there are only 10 copies, please bid. Lin Shu gathered several potential customers into a group and posted a message. Fang Yifan. Hiss. 10 portions. Brother, where did you do so many things? Wang Yao. There is also an auction. I only have 1 gold coin, can you just sell me 5 copies? Jong Ching Yong. Brother Lin, you are so good at playing. Everyone, I only want 3 copies, please give me some face. Liu Xiaoman. 11Y, I want 4 copies. Chen Sujia. I want 5 copies of 12Y. ... The group immediately exploded, and a group of big guys smiled bitterly. While bidding, I was secretly wondering. It is normal to have opportunities in the trial land. If you are lucky enough to encounter 2 bosses, it is not impossible to drop some soul fire, but it is normal to pick up 1 or 2. Obviously it is impossible to pick up 10 copies. Then there is only one answer, and that is this soul fire. I got it by killing monsters myself. 10 copies of soul fire can only be obtained by killing at least 3 bosses. How could a little known person kill so many bosses? Lin Shu. Only 136th on the list is named Lin Shu, but how can there be so many soul fires among those over 100? In a deserted place somewhere, Wang Buer frowned and murmured. His strength is also quite good, ranking 11th on the rankings. I was unlucky and didn't make it into the top 10, but the difference between my result and 10th place was only 1 minute. He considers himself not weak in strength. Apart from his unshakable position in the top 3, he feels that he is not weaker than others. I just tried my best to kill a rank 5 boss and obtained several soul fires. Now you only need 3 copies of pure soul fire to evolve your second unit to rank 5. When there are 2 rank 5 arms, his strength can be further improved. After leveling up for an afternoon, I will be sure to win a blue cave mansion in the evening. It's a pity that in order to upgrade the command power just now, he spent all his money to buy the command book, and now he is penniless and unable to bid. He almost gave up after sending the message but seeing it disappear. However, the next second, the message popped up and made him feel happy. Lin Shu. Accept barter, which can be exchanged for skill upgrade scrolls, command books, recruitment skill advancement books, or other valuable treasures. There's a show. Wang Buer clenched his fists hard and couldn't help but let out a low cry, then reluctantly glanced at the command book in his backpack. Weigh slightly, after all, the strength in front of you is the most important. As long as you have enough strength, the command book can still be purchased. Wang Buer. How about exchanging the Book of Command for pure soul fire at a 1:1 ratio of 5 copies? Under the bones, Lin Shu felt happy when she saw the news about Wang Buer. This guy actually has 5 leadership books. There are many reasons why prices in the trial land and the outside world are inconsistent. Some are expensive and some are cheap. If low-level soul fire is the expensive kind, then the command book is the ridiculously cheap kind. The source of soul fire is scarce in the trial land. The only way is to kill the high-level boss. All you can get is a strong person with extraordinary talent. But when I went to the Starry Sky battlefield, there were countless strong people. Soul fire naturally becomes less precious, especially low-level soul fire. It's no exaggeration to describe it as cabbage price. The Book of Command is the treasure that all lords long for. No amount is too much, competing with countless wealthy and powerful people in the outer Starry Sky battlefield. The price is naturally far beyond what the Lord Ordinary can accept. In the trial ground, the price difference between the two is almost the same. But to Lin Shu, the value of the Book of Command was far greater than that of pure soul fire, so he naturally would not refuse this deal. I happily accepted it and got the 5 leadership books. On the other hand, Wang Buer was also very happy. He was originally afraid that Lin Shu would sit down and raise the price. He didn't expect Lin Shu to be so happy, which immediately made him feel more favorable toward Lin Shu. The transaction here is completed, and the auction results finally appeared. After all, Wang Yao, who ranked second, had a lot of money and successfully bought 5 copies of Pure Soul Fire at a unit price of 22 silver coins. Fang Yifan took 4 of the other 5 copies. Only 1 copy was taken by Lu Xiaoman. The others who were not photographed were disappointed. Lin Shu smiled lightly and put 10 copies of Pure Soul Fire on the shelves. I just got 10 more copies of Pure Soul Fire. Does anyone want the last 10 copies? The highest bidder will get 10 silver coins per copy. Wang Yao, Fang Yifan, Lu Xiaoman. Depend on. Several people were so depressed that they couldn't help but curse secretly. But what I didn't take was that I felt happy, and I immediately reacted and started bidding. In the end, there were 20 copies of Pure Soul Fire, and Lin Shu sold them for a total of 4 gold coins and 50 silver coins. The equivalent unit price is almost 22.5 silver coins per serving, which is a sky-high price at this stage. Fang Yifan, brother, you can also sell Pure Soul Fire to me at this price. Lu Xiaoman, brother Lin, add me as a friend. If you have any more in the future, remember to contact me. The price is still the same. After the auction ended, Lin Shu received several more friend requests. The message is exactly the same. Lin Shu, who can obviously produce 20 copies of Pure Soul Fire at once. No matter what the ranking is, it is already worthy of their high look. Lin Shu passed them one by one, and after a simple reply. Only then did the transaction interface close. 8 gold coins, equivalent to 800 silver coins, enough. Looking at her backpack, Lin Shu's heart surged. I got less than 20 silver coins from killing the monsters last night, but today I got more than 3 gold coins from killing more than a dozen bosses. Now I have sold 20 copies of Pure Soul Fire, and my money has reached 8 gold coins. It is more than enough to buy skill upgrade scrolls. Lin Shu, 10 silver coins each, unlimited purchase of skill upgrade scrolls and command books, some can be chatted directly in private. Without hesitation, Lin Shu opened the chat channel and sent another message. But looking at the speech that was swallowed up by the scrolling screen in an instant, Lin Shu gritted his teeth and said, VIP channel launched. Release, sound transmission thousands of miles. Consumption, 1 gold coin. Published successfully. Closing square bracket. Qinli Xuanyan, Lin Shu. For 10 silver coins, one can purchase unlimited skill upgrade books and command books, and some can be chatted privately. Qinli Xuanyan is a paid function of the chat channel. Each use requires a minimum consumption of 1 gold coin, which can force the speech to be displayed for 10 seconds. The more gold coins you consume, the longer the display time will be. It is a function only reserved for rich people, and the level of luxury is outrageous. Boom! The gold coins were consumed, and 1 gold coin was missing from the backpack. Before Lin Shu could care about his heartache, he saw a golden bold font instantly appear above the chat channel. It is forced to be displayed in front of everyone's eyes, and the golden font is extremely conspicuous. It exudes an ultimate majesty, which can be said to be extremely noble. Where did this local boss come from? Thousands of miles of sound transmission. Hiss. Is this 1,000 miles of sound? Isn't it too cool? Cool, haha, 1 gold coin is cool at a time. This is an IQ tax. That's right, only idiots play this. What does 1 gold coin mean? Give me 1 gold coin and I can build a cyan cave mansion today. Lin Shu, how dare a rookie who ranks over 100 in the rankings dare to be so arrogant? He is indeed mentally retarded. May I ask what the ranking of the boss upstairs is? It seems that I didn't see your name on the ranking list. What a shame. I took one look at the rankings and automatically assumed the number 1 spot on the list. I looked down on the sky and the earth. 10 silver coins to collect the skill upgrade scroll and the command book, they are scattered. This stuff is not something we ordinary people can get. It's too luxurious. We can't understand the world of rich people. Quote. The golden font has blinded many people's eyes. Even many powerful people on the ranking list can't help but enjoy it. Obviously, not everyone can afford the high activation fee of 1 gold coin. This cannot be described as luxury. Countless lords were shocked and began to check the rankings. Lin Shu's information was soon revealed, including the news that Yuqi had just sold pure soul fire. Undoubtedly, it corresponds to this news. A glimpse of one spot reveals the whole leopard. The financial resources are enough to represent Lin Shu's strength, making those jealous lords who spoke blush in the face. I could only force myself to argue a few words, and then I was drowned in the chat channel in despair. Several messages popped up on Lin Shu's side, but this time there were no familiar names. Obviously, the price of 10 silver coins is completely dispensable for the strong. Skill upgrade scrolls are useful things for everyone, although they are of no use at the moment. But no one will sell directly. There are quite a few ordinary lords. With the huge population base, there will always be some lucky ones. Scatteredly, Lin Shu also received 6 skill upgrade scrolls and 5 command books. After waiting for nearly half an hour, there was still no news. Lin Shu had no choice but to close the chat channel. The skill upgrade book is only produced by the boss. The quantity was limited and there was nothing he could do about it. Use them all. Close the chat channel and use all the skill upgrade scrolls and command books received by Lin Shu. The skill of recruiting Skeleton Guard has been directly upgraded to LV18. The command power also soared directly to 50. Recruit Skeleton Guard. After preparing everything, Lin Shu took a deep breath. He used the Skeleton Guard recruitment technique on the bones next to him. Click, click, click. The huge white bones shook violently. The bones collided with each other, making a clicking sound, and the huge white bones seemed to come to life. The part buried underground was finally pulled out of the ground. The entire huge skeleton was more than 50 meters high. Nearly 200 meters long, it is enough to show how terrifying this corpse was during life. The bones collided with each other and gradually disassembled into 18 powerful skeletons. The strong aura echoed around Lin Shu, listening to the pleasant sound in his mind. Lin Shu suddenly turned red with excitement. Get Elite Skeleton Warlord 18. 18 white bone skeletons slowly stood up from the ground, all white jade skeletons. Holding a bone sword in his hand, the fist-sized soul fire flashed continuously in his hollow head. Lin Shu suddenly took a breath after hearing the prompt. Elite Skeleton Warlord is directly a rank 5 unit. Skill recruitment. Generally, only troops of the corresponding level can be recruited. However, if you encounter excellent supreme grade materials that exceed the grade, you can also recruit higher level troops of the same race. For example, the rank 5 boss killed before directly recruited powerful skeleton warrior. A unit with strong rank 3. And now, he's using the bones of what appears to be the Netherworld Wraith Emperor to recruit. He actually directly recruited a rank 5 unit, Elite Skeleton Warlord. This is a bit beyond imagination. Synthesize. Synthesize everything. Lin Shu's face turned red with excitement. 18 rank 5 troops. This alone is enough to defeat 99.99% of the lords, and it is enough to rank among the top 3 forces in the entire cemetery of size. And this is just a one-time recruitment. Once synthesized, it is enough to directly synthesize a strong rank 6 unit. It is only a hair away from Eten's rank 7 Frost Ancient Dragon. With the hero's bonus, it can completely rival or even surpass Eten's Frost Ancient Dragon. Of course, this is under the premise that Eten has not recruited a second one yet. Get Powerful Skeleton Warlord 9. Get Skeleton General 4. Get Elite Skeleton General Death Knight LV 17. Get Elite Skeleton General 1. Get Powerful Skeleton General Death Knight LV 17. Lin Shu sat cross-legged on the ground and threw the skeletons into the synthesis column one by one. 2 in 1, Skeleton Warlord dwindles. Instead, a Death Knight with a strong rank 6 was slowly born. Powerful Skeleton General Death Knight LV 17. 6 stars, strong rank 6. Life, 10,200. Mana, 10,200. Attack, 8,200 plus 12,088. Defense, 6,000. Damage reduction plus 9%. Attack plus 9%. Defense plus 10%. Skill, critical hit. There is a 30% chance of causing 600% damage to the enemy when attacking. Charge, crash into the enemy at an extremely fast speed, causing it to be stunned for 3 seconds and causing an additional 400% damage. Charge ignores terrain restrictions. Aphotic shield. Adds a shield to the target, absorbs 1.5 times the damage of health points, then breaks into pieces and transfers the absorbed damage to all nearby enemies. Death entanglement. Consume a certain amount of one's own life, causing double damage to the enemy or restoring double life to teammates. Blood-sucking aura. Adds a blood-sucking aura to nearby friendly units. Each time you attack the enemy, you can recover 10% of the life of the damage caused, and your own effect is doubled. Buff. Netherworld Wraith Emperor's Blessing recovers 300 points of life per second in non-combat state. The effect is halved in combat state. Introduction. Heroes in Skeleton General, with unlimited potential. Life is over 10,000. Lin Shu couldn't wait to open Death Knight's attribute panel, and was excited when he saw the luxurious attributes. With over 10,000 lives, he is considered a strong one even among the Bronze Lords. But at this moment he is just a trainee lord. The luxurious attributes of Death Knight are comparable to those of strong rank 7 troops. Counting all kinds of skills, even the ordinary unit with a weak rank 8. Lin Shu is sure of a fight. Entry, attack increased to 9%. Death Knight's entry, the attack percentage has changed from 3% before to 9% now. It should be the changes brought about by these two combinations that further enhance the strength of Death Knight. There are more than 20,000 attacks, which is enough to scare people to death. Looking at the entire trial land, I'm afraid it's enough to win the competition. Strong, maybe, you can try the Purple Cave Mansion at night. Lin Shu murmured to himself and looked at the soldiers around him. In addition to a strong rank 6 Death Knight, I also got an additional rank 6 Elite Skeleton General. A rank 5 Powerful Skeleton Warlord, leaving a rank 4 Ghost Fire Shooter and a rank 3 Skeleton Swordsman. It seems a bit annoying at the moment. I don't know how long it is until night. Let's go level up. After thoroughly sorting out the harvest, Lin Shu's strength was completely different from that in the morning. I looked up at the sky. The gray sky couldn't tell the passage of time. On the first day, I could roughly tell the time by feeling, but on the second day, I lost all reference points. Time has become a vague concept. Lin Shu stood up. Death Knight followed closely behind him. Get ready to start leveling up. A strong rank 6 Death Knight has high enough basic attributes. But the current level of LV-17 seems a bit too low, not to mention the existence of the top 10 in the rankings. I'm afraid I won't even be able to get into the first 200. But once you level up, your strength will improve far beyond what others imagine. Leveling up all the troops with rank 3 or above is incredibly efficient. Death Knight doesn't even have room to take action, just one Ghost Fire Shooter is enough to kill all monsters. Lin Shu randomly chose a direction and headed forward. Experience notification sounds kept coming. Still set so that all experience is gained by the Death Knight, Lin Shu looked down at the dead bones that fell from time to time on the ground and pondered slightly. Now his command power has skyrocketed to 50 points, and the unit currently only occupies 6 spots. These ordinary skeleton guards are also very reluctant to recruit, and compared to the Death Knight who is already rank 6. If you want to synthesize it again, you will need at least more than 200,000 low-level skeleton warriors. This is obviously an astronomical figure, and it may not be possible to collect it even if you work for several days. Lin Shu looked at his other recruitment technique thoughtfully. Mount Bone Horse Recruitment Technique LV1. After use, it consumes 5 mana to recruit a Mount Bone Horse. Mounts are obviously a luxury item for the lords of the trial land. But Lin Shu feels it is necessary because mounts can greatly increase movement speed. It is very important to rush to find Cave Mansion in the coming night. The higher the level of Cave Mansion, the rarer the number. Scattered in the vast cemetery of size, it is normal for thousands of kilometers without one. If you don't have a mount and you see a high-level cave mansion but it's far away, that would be a shame. Recruit, Bone Horse. As soon as he thought of it, Lin Shu directly activated the Bone Horse recruitment technique. The next second, a root bone emerged from the ground, forming the shape of a horse. Obtain. Inferior Bone Horse 1. Inferior Bone Horse. Speed. 10. Endurance. 10. Evaluation. It is a weak and inferior bone horse, it is best not to try to ride it. Quote. Lin Shu looked at the pony, less than 1 meter tall, speechlessly. His figure was exactly the same as that of the scumbag skeleton warrior. After taking 2 steps, the bones cracked and the gray-white ashes fell. It looks like it will fall apart soon. But it doesn't matter, there is the magical skill of synthesis. He will take action. Synthesis. Without saying a word, Lin Shu recruited a bone horse again and directly started the synthetic talent. Obtain. Ordinary's Bone Horse 1. Ordinary's Bone Horse Mount. Speed. 20. Endurance. 20. Introduction. It is best not to ride an ordinary bone horse that weighs more than its own existence. 2 stars mount. Is terrible. Perhaps because he is more discerning now, Lin Shu, the bone horse that was synthesized once, still looks unbearable to look at. Doubling the speed and stamina only results in a pitiful 20 points, which is roughly equivalent to running at the fastest speed of 20 meters per second for 20 minutes. The speed is noticeable, but the weight is a bit miserable. An existence that cannot exceed its own weight. Does this bone horse weigh 10 pounds? Lin Shu looked at the thin bone horse with suspicion. One horse was less than 1 meter tall. The bones all over his body are of different thicknesses, and he probably weighs less than 10 kilograms. This weight-bearing capacity is far out of reach of his requirements. Go on, recruit. Lin Shu was also convinced at this time. The mount was a sign of a strong man. You can have no money in your pocket, but you can't live without a gorgeous card. Otherwise, if Yi Tiana competes for the Golden Cave Mansion in the future, and he soars into the sky on the Frostbone Dragon. And I can only use 2 legs to swing. Let's not talk about the battle for the moment. First of all, the momentum is much weaker. He seemed to have returned to yesterday, the moment of crazy recruitment and then synthesis. It's just that yesterday he would collapse every time he recruited 4 times and needed to rest for 20 minutes to recover. And today, with the recovery bonus brought by the Withered Vine staff, coupled with the skyrocketing upper limit of his mana, he has been able to supply unlimited consumption of LV1 recruitment techniques. The efficiency can be said to be greatly improved. 2 bone horses are combined into 1 2-star bone horse. Recruit 4 times to synthesize a 3-star bone horse. 8 times, a 4-star bone horse was synthesized. Lin Shu recruited tirelessly. When a touch of blood came, he finally successfully synthesized a 10-star bone horse. Sweat Blood Bone Horse. Speed. 100. Endurance. 100. Phase movement. After turning it on, it will enter the phase movement state within 5 seconds, the speed will be increased by 100% and the volume will be reduced to 0 to transmigrate all obstacles. Introduction. A powerful sweat-blooded horse with extreme speed and amazing endurance, and comes with a luxurious car. The appearance of the 10-star sweat-blooded horse has also changed drastically. Standing on the ground, his back almost reached Lin Shu's head, and his whole body was covered with a layer of bright red armor. If the empty soul fire in the head hadn't revealed its identity, anyone would think it was an apex-level mount. There was a luxurious cushion on the back, and Lin Shu tried to sit on it. The bone horse moves as smoothly as the ground, with no bumps at all. A solid batch. It also comes with a phase movement skill, which doubles the speed when activated. The volume was reduced to 0. Lin Shu tried it and understood what it meant. To put it simply, when you are trapped in a tight siege. By turning on phase movement, you can directly transmigrate obstacles. The enemy's physical barriers will be ineffective under this skill. It can easily pass through the enemy, just like the magic of walking through walls. Extremely magical. Speed 100. Doubled after phase movement is enabled, lasts 5 seconds and CD is 10 seconds. Lin Shu murmured and calculated. The average speed is equivalent to more than 103. A mount that can reach a speed of almost 80 yards per hour is not very fast among transcendents. But for a trainee lord who has just embarked on the road to becoming a lord, this is a bit exaggerated. Lin Shu also wanted to try to see if he could continue to synthesize the 10-star bone horse. It's a pity that there is no time. Boom. The blood moon suddenly appeared in the sky. The bloody moonlight fell across the cemetery of sighs, replacing the gray sky. The endless undead were awakened again, struggling to get up from the endless earth. Attack all visible creatures around you. Skeleton swordsman, enter. Lin Shu sat on the sweat-blooded horse, with the Death Knight and a group of skeletons tightly surrounding him. The strong wind mixed with the rotten smell made Lin Shu's robes rustle. He was like a general who had won a battle, extremely tall. Skeleton swordsman finally came into use. He stepped forward and guarded Lin Shu on the left and right. Feel free to slaughter monsters that dare to offend your master's divine power. A level 20 Death Knight, Blue Cave Mansion should be enough. After a day of hard work, hundreds of monsters were killed. Death Knight finally reached level 20. The monster's skeleton swordsman kills turn into life energy, which is constantly recruited and synthesized again and again. In the end, it was just a skeleton knight. Killed more than 500 undead monsters, but not even a piece of equipment or skill upgrade scroll was exploded. He only had a pitiful amount of copper coins and experience, which made Lin Shu secretly curl his lips. After enjoying the rapid improvement of the treasure in the morning, he was a little uncomfortable with the efficiency at this time. Soon, as the moonlight completely fell on the earth, there was a loud noise, and countless light beams of various colors descended on the earth. The dazzling light spreads throughout the cemetery of size, and the cave mansion has arrived again. With the arrival of Cave Mansion, there is also a second leaderboard to unlock. Divine Power Ranking. Introduction. The sum of the Lord's own life and mana is divine power, ranked according to the level of divine power. Number 1, Eten 170. NO2, Lin Yao 163. NO3, Jong Ching Yong 162. NO4, Fang Yifan 162. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. The ranking of divine power is pretty much the same. The top 10 are still a few people from the Cave Mansion rankings, but this is normal. After all, the only way for new lords to improve their attributes is through Cave Mansion. The longer you occupy Cave Mansion, the higher your level will be. The higher the promotion, the number 1 is still the unshakable Yi Tian. Lin Shu turned over and found that his power was only 128. Already ranked outside the 100th place, number 138th. Ranked a few lower than Cave Mansion. The ranking is the essence of the trial. I am bound to win the first place. Lin Shu's eyes flashed with light and he murmured to himself. The trial lasts for a week, and a ranking list will be unlocked every day. They are Cave Mansion, Divine Power, Command Power, Troop Levels, Combined Divine Power of Troops, and finally the entire trial land. The Rookie King ranking to test the true strength of all newcomers. 6 ranking lists, each with generous rewards. The higher the ranking, the more generous the rewards will be. It is a list that all strong players must compete for. In this regard, Lin Shu is naturally determined to win. He was also confident enough that it was only the second day. A hero with a strong rank 6 has been synthesized, and on the last day. Not to mention rank 10's Netherworld Wraith Emperor, at least rank 9's Purgatory Underworld Ruler he is sure of. In previous trials, only troops with a rank of rank 8 appeared. This has only happened once in many years. In fact, if you can produce a rank 7, you can almost secure your position as the Rookie King. Target, Newcomer King. Start with the Blue Cave Mansion. Lin Shu sat on the sweat-blooded horse, looking far away and quickly locked on the nearest blue light beam. The higher the Cave Mansion level, the smaller the quantity. Generally speaking, many strong people need to travel long distances if they want to find their favorite cave mansion. But there are also some lucky people who have high-level cave mansion right next to them. For example, Lin Shu is today. Blue Cave Mansion. Lin Shu looked at a blue light beam 100 meters away with surprise. The diameter of the dark blue light beam was at least 100 meters. It looks absolutely spectacular. Yesterday I drove for half an hour to find a green cave mansion, but today I found it right next to me. Walk. This is naturally a good thing. Lin Shu was overjoyed and gave the order directly. The sweat-blooded bone horse carried him forward quickly, and the Death Knight and others followed closely behind with the speed of the mount. We arrived outside the cave mansion in an instant. Get in. Sufficient strength brings absolute confidence. Death Knight headed directly towards Cave Mansion, and the moment he came into contact with the blue light beam, the blue light instantly transformed into a guardian beast, and without saying a word, it headed towards Lin Shu. Zombie. Lin Shu saw the appearance of the guarding beast clearly and frowned slightly. Zombies can be regarded as an alternative among the undead. Most of the ordinary undead monsters look like bones. A few others belong to the ghost category and are incorporeal, but zombies. It is one of the few races that still has a physical body, and its strength cannot be underestimated. The most notable feature is their amazing defense. Copper skin and iron bones are their labels. Rank 6 boss, Mao Zheng. Lin Shu looked at the visitor warily, the guardian beast of the Blue Cave Mansion. It's really extraordinary. The purple color of high level starts at least rank 7. No wonder Eten couldn't beat him yesterday. Rank 6 boss, he even doubted that he might be able to defeat all the top 10 lords today. Charge, come on. But he doesn't care, rank 6 boss is all. The attributes are the same as Death Knight, but Death Knight has white jade bone knife. The attributes are so high that it can crush this boss in a single fight. What's more, there are other arms to help contain it. With an order, a skeleton warlord rushed directly. Death Knight casually put a lightless shield on it. Roar. The zombies with flesh finally stopped making clicking sounds. Bursting with murderous intent and eerie roars. Lin Shu actually sounded a bit cordial at this moment. Laugh. No matter how hard skeleton warlord rushed at him, Mao Zheng didn't even move at all. The effect of the charge seemed to have no effect on it. The long hair completely blocked the damage. With a wave of his hand, his sharp nails scratched hard on the luminous shield. It makes a harsh sound like fingernails scratching glass. Charge. Without Lin Shu's order, Death Knight rushed out instantly. The moment he passed me by, the white jade bone knife sliced gently, like chopping melons and vegetables. An arm covered with white hair fell instantly, and the dried black blood on the wound turned into fly ash. The fractures are neat and uniform. Roar. After 2 seconds, Mao Zheng realized what happened. His dry eyes suddenly widened and he roared angrily. Aha! Death Knight was indifferent and turned around. White jade bone knife passed by again, and the roar suddenly stopped. A head covered with white hair fell to the ground and rolled to Lin Shu's feet. What the hell? Lin Shu was excited, and the sweat-blooded horse seemed to sense its master's thoughts. The front hoof forcefully kicked the disgusting head away in an instant. Acquire 600 experience. Obtain Book of Command 1. Obtain Skill Upgrade Scroll 1. Get High Quality Soul Fire 3. Obtain Skill Book Zombie Recruitment Technique. Obtain Mao Zhan's Heart 1. Opening square bracket ... closing square bracket. A rank 6 boss was killed instantly after not being able to resist for 3 seconds. After death, the aphotic shield on skeleton warlord's body has not even been broken. The combat power of Death Knight is so terrifying. As expected of a hero, he is really awesome. Lin Shu watched the battle end with satisfaction. Rank 6 boss was also generous. The objects that exploded were second only to the white jade skeletons, and there were 5 kinds of them. The most important thing is that there is another unit that can recruit zombies. There was no time to check the loot. After killing the boss, Lin Shu couldn't wait to enter the cave mansion. Entering the cave mansion, Lin Shu's eyes suddenly lit up. The first thing that catches the eye is the wide space, which is 10 times larger than the green cave mansion last night. The cave mansion, which is about 100 square meters, has a much better environment than the green cave mansion. It is simply a small villa with a beautiful, warm and comfortable environment. The bedroom living room even has a large bathroom. Promote. Occupy Blue Cave Mansion 0/60ths of a second. This is called Cave Mansion. Lin Shu's eyes turned green. Compared with this place, yesterday's green cave mansion was worse than a beggar's bridge. Cool. Lin Shu arranged for a group of Death Knight soldiers to guard the door, and lay lazily on the soft bed. I feel like all the fatigue from 2 days has disappeared in an instant. A minute later, the familiar prompt finally came. Tip. Capture completed. Get Blue Cave Mansion. Benefits. Restore life and mana 50 points per minute, increase life and mana 6 points per hour, increase command power 8/10 of hour. Cool. After the occupation was completed, Lin Shu's heart finally dropped. He doesn't plan to stay up late today. With such a good environment, I would be sorry for myself if I didn't take a good rest. Anyway, there is a Death Knight guarding the door, unless Eten comes in person. Otherwise he doesn't think anyone can threaten him. The level of cave mansion is divided into 10 levels from low to high according to 10 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, black and gold. On the first day, Eten dominated the competition with his initial strength of rank 7 arms. Become the owner of the only blue cave mansion. The other two in the top 3 are in Cyan Cave Mansion, and the other top few hundred lords are in Green Cave Mansion. But today, on the second day, everyone's strength has made great progress. Eten has already made wild claims that today he will challenge the Purple Cave Mansion. The other top 10 lords are also gearing up, planning to challenge the Cyan Cave Mansion or even the Blue Cave Mansion. The moment Cave Mansion was born, countless lords rushed to the nearest high-level cave mansion. Only the Cyan Cave Mansion and above need to kill the Guardian Beast, but the Green Cave Mansion does not. The lucky ordinary lord couldn't wait to enter the nearest Green Cave Mansion. He opened the ranking list with a loud voice, planning to appreciate his ranking before everyone had a chance to enter the cave mansion. Taking screenshots will be more or less a source of bragging rights in the future. Cave Mansion Ranking. Number 1, Lin Shu Blue Cave Mansion 1 minute. NO2, Chinshanping Green Cave Mansion 1 minute. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Blue. What? Blue Cave Mansion. Who is Lin Shu? Taking over the Blue Cave Mansion so quickly. First, isn't it Eten? Why is it Lin Shu? Lin Shu, is he Lin Shu, who can send thousands of miles of sound during the day? He can actually occupy the Blue Cave Mansion. Chapter 31. Apparently more than one person noticed this ranking, and the chat channel instantly exploded. First, it has always been recognized as exclusive to Eten. Some people have even said that this year's newcomer king is none other than Eten. After all, the initial troops of rank 7 are really outrageous. Eten's performance in the past 2 days has lived up to expectations. From time to time, he forwarded screenshots of his achievements in the chat channel. He killed more than 3 high-level bosses, making countless lords drool with envy. Someone has calculated that even if Eten did not encounter a suitable corpse to recruit a second rank 7 Frost Bone Dragon, at least a dozen rank 5 Bone Dragons have been recruited. With such exaggerated strength, even the second rank Jong Ching Yong is ashamed. The other lords only dared to compete for the top 10, and no one even mentioned the first place. And now, the Cave Mansion ranking list is suddenly occupied by a strange name that landed in the air. How could it not be shocking? If it's a Green Cave Mansion, or even a Teal Cave Mansion, I wouldn't be too shocked, or I could change the name of the attribute. It's not so boiling, but it's the Blue Cave Mansion. He is the second person besides Eten to occupy the Blue Cave Mansion. Even more bizarre is that occupying the Blue Cave Mansion, not one of the top 10 yesterday, but a stranger. An unknown person who couldn't be found on the top 10 pages of yesterday's ranking list. The combination of these two factors is a bit intriguing. 666. How quickly did you occupy the Blue Cave Mansion? You actually took over the position of Boss Eten. Haha, just good luck. I guess it happened to be painted next to the Blue Cave Mansion. Your head is flooded. What's the use of having good luck if you don't have the strength? Can you paint a Golden Cave Mansion next to you and get in? Yes, to be able to occupy the Blue Cave Mansion, good luck is important, but I estimate that my strength can at least rank among the top 10. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What the hell kind of luck is this? I looked at Lin Shu's ranking yesterday and ended up with only 135. Today, he can directly play the Blue Cave Mansion. I saw him selling Pure's Soul Fire at noon, and in the afternoon he released Qinli Yuan's acquisition of a skill upgrade scroll. It must be some adventure. I'm jealous. This is such good luck. I must have been lucky enough to pick up Pure's Soul Fire and get a lot of high-quality bones. Quote. The chat channel was in an uproar, and every lord's eyes turned red with jealousy. With a sour tone, he racked his brains and thought about what kind of opportunities could create such a strong person. In front of a Blue Cave Mansion somewhere, Fang Yifan was commanding his troops to attack the boss. Seeing that the battle situation was decided, I opened the ranking list to see the progress of others. First, Lin Shu, Blue Cave Mansion. Wait. Lin Shu. Fang Yifan was about to look down when he was suddenly startled. His eyes moved up to look at the golden name, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. Lin Shu is actually number 1 and has successfully occupied the Blue Cave Mansion. Fang Yifan was shocked and had mixed feelings for a moment. He started with the rank 6 unit skeleton general. After 2 days of development, he had successfully recruited 3 skeleton generals. He considers himself to be second only to Yi Tianxia in terms of strength. Today, I have upgraded all 3 skeleton generals to LV20, and I have absolute confidence in occupying a Blue Cave Mansion. And I was also lucky today. A Blue Cave Mansion was refreshed just a few hundred meters away. He even thought that he might be able to stay in the first place for a while today. Even Yi Tianruo was unlucky and didn't encounter the Purple Cave Mansion. The first place today belongs to you. However, I never expected that this Lin Shu would take less time than me. Have you successfully occupied the Blue Cave Mansion now? Is it that Lin Shu, who has such strength? His heart was shaken, and Fang Yifan couldn't help but fantasize again. The name Lin Shu was originally unknown. But I did a deal with Lin Shu today, and the luxurious Qinli transmission is really a bit high profile. He also added a friend status. I thought he was just a lucky lord who got a little chance. It seems that I underestimated everyone in the world. It has been less than 2 minutes since Cave Mansion was refreshed, and he has already occupied it for 1 minute. In other words, even if the Cave Mansion was right in front of him, it took him less than a minute to kill the rank 6 boss. Fang Yifan was shocked beyond words. After thinking for a while, I slowly opened the friend's bar. Sent a message over. Elsewhere in the cemetery of size, Lin Yao was rushing towards her goal. Always open the ranking list and follow the progress of others. When the first ranking's golden name lights up, she suddenly took a breath. It's actually Lin Shu. Quote. Under the blood moon, Lin Shu's name instantly spread throughout the cemetery of size. Countless lords' thoughts flickered, either jealous or envious. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but be shocked. Fang Yifan, congratulations to Brother Lin for occupying the Blue Cave Mansion. Lin Yao, congratulations, Brother Lin, for making it into the top 10. Jong Ching Yong, congratulations, bro, do you still have soul fire? In the Blue Cave Mansion, Lin Shu took off her clothes and soaked in the bathtub, feeling completely refreshed. After opening the message bar, a series of messages came. Lin Shu looked at the ranking list and smiled lightly. The Blue Cave Mansion occupier, first is temporary. But the second one should be unshakable. Sure enough, before he finished taking a bath, suddenly a golden name suddenly appeared on the ranking list, knocking Lin Shu's name down. Number 1, Yi Tian Purple Cave Mansion 1 minute. NO2, Lin Shu Blue Cave Mansion 13 minutes. Opening square bracket. Closing square bracket. Behind Yi Tian's name are the 4 purple characters Cave Mansion. A purple symbolizing nobility lingers on the golden ranking. It seems to be describing the domineering and powerful master. Yi Tian, who returned strongly, declared his existence with his unique results. The name of number 1 cannot be shaken by anyone. He didn't say a word during the whole process, nor did he make any remarks in the chat channel. But it made countless lords cheer for it, like an international superstar. Just standing there has already made countless people crazy. Purple Cave Mansion is truly worthy of being the lord of the rank 7 arms. Lin Shu stood up slowly, her strong figure looking particularly eye-catching under the light blue light. Instead of rushing to get dressed, I looked at my name on the ranking list and was pushed to second place. Sighed slightly. He also had to admit that Yi Tian was indeed very powerful. Now he doesn't grasp the challenge either. Let you be arrogant for 1 more day. Let's see tomorrow who wins the first place. A glimmer of light flashed in Lin Shu's eyes, rank 7 arms. His current Death Knight is comparable to him. In 1 day, he is sure to upgrade the Death Knight again. By then, he and Yi Tian will be in the same realm, and it will be clear who is stronger and who is weaker. Haha, if you have some luck, do you really think you are number 1? In a purple cave mansion somewhere, the purple aura shone on the face of a young man. Yi Tian looked at Lin Shu, who was pushed to second place on the ranking list, and couldn't help but sneered and said to himself. As a lord, the initial troop types do not represent future strength. Because after leaving the place of trial, some lords had a powerful father, family, etc. When they enter the starry sky battlefield, everyone else will have to start from scratch and compete for resources step by step to gradually increase their strength. As for the second generation, the family has already prepared everything for them. As long as you develop step by step, you can have strength that ordinary people cannot obtain in their lifetime. In this world where everyone is a lord, you also have to fight for your father. Unfortunately, Eten, is a person with no background, no resources, and no backing. Only in the place of trial can he be the well-deserved king. But from the moment he obtained rank 7 Frostbone Dragon, he was destined to become a strong generation. If he can win the first place on the 7th list and win the title of this year's Rookie King, that would be more secure. When the trial ends, he will be a well-deserved son of destiny. He is favored by many powerful family forces, and even the strong men of the human race temple will show favor to him. The resources that the second generation can obtain will not be less than theirs. If development goes well in the future, there is even hope of entering the temple and becoming the highest decision-making level of human race. At first he was so excited that he couldn't control himself, but now after 2 days of fighting, he has long been aloof and does not take other lords seriously. Even if someone is lucky enough to take away the first ranking, it is only temporary. He only has appreciation and disdain, but not the slightest anger. No, taking down the Purple Cave Mansion in one fell swoop instantly regained the top ranking. Everything seemed so logical. Eten picked up a glass of purple red wine that came with Cave Mansion and gently tasted the expensive drinks that he had only seen in books in the past. I wiped my mouth gracefully, feeling like I was the son of destiny. Sanwu's background is just a test for him. Luck is also part of strength. This Lin Shu is lucky and a good prospect. Maybe we can make some friends. Feeling narcissistic, Eten polished his slender fingers. With the improvement of strength, the originally rough hands are now like a lady who has never touched the spring water. Fair and slender, he muttered to himself, his tone full of unattainable pride. But that's all he thought. As the booker of this year's Rookie King, only when others kneel down and lick him, begging to become his followers. Going to Lin Shu personally to subdue him, isn't that what he should do? Besides, no matter how good your luck is, it's just good luck. If the strength of the military unit is not outstanding, it will be eliminated sooner or later as time goes by. Being chased by those high-level military lords is only a matter of seconds. If you can't always stand out in the trial place, she doesn't deserve to be paid attention to by Eten, let alone be his follower. Master, please take a shower and change clothes. 2 fox maids in cool clothes came forward and bowed slightly. The gauze on their bodies was almost transparent. Show off their curvy figures to the fullest. Ha ha ha. Eten laughed wildly and entered the bathtub with his arms around the 2 fox tribe maids. The gauze of the fox tribe's maid slipped off her body and rested lightly on Eten's body. Let his big hands kneaded wantonly. This is a treatment unique to Cave Mansion above Purple, with charming foreign maids. It is said to be a method used by some weak foreigners to sign a contract with Tiandao and enter the Cave Mansion as an item. Join the powerful lords of each clan in advance to fight for a place for the clan. In the Purple Cave Mansion, spring is full of joy. At this moment, Lin Shu encountered a little trouble. Blue Cave Mansion, finally here. Chen Hongguang looked at the Blue Cave Mansion in front of him happily and breathed a sigh of relief. However, before he could be happy, his expression suddenly froze. Has a master. Chen Hongguang's face turned dark when he saw the 2 skeletons guarding the door of Cave Mansion. I feel like I am extremely lucky. As a rank 5 lord himself, looking at the entire cemetery of size, he is also ranked among the top 5. However, I was unlucky yesterday. The nearest Green Cave Mansion was more than 10 kilometers away. There was not even a Cyan Cave Mansion within sight. In the end, I had to trek for more than an hour before occupying a Green Cave Mansion. Although he obviously has good strength, he still doesn't even make it into the top 10. That's all. It's the same today and on the second day. The nearest Blue Cave Mansion is 10 kilometers away, but there is a Cyan Cave Mansion that is very close. But he had already made up his mind that he must enter the top 10 this time. After a little consideration, he immediately gave up on the Cyan Cave Mansion. I once again walked a long way to the Blue Cave Mansion, but unexpectedly. Such bad luck, This blue cave mansion is also occupied. I'm going to book the blue cave mansion today. Chen Hongguang spat and couldn't help but roared, at least we have to see the strength of the owner of cave mansion. If you have the opportunity, you can't miss it. Skeleton swordsman. Haha, it's only a rank 3 soldier. God help me. After taking a step forward and seeing clearly the strength of the gatekeepers, Chen Hongguang was immediately overjoyed and immediately put his heart back in his stomach. It's only the second day. Generally speaking, the strength gap between each lord's arms is not too big. The opponent's goalkeepers are 2 skeleton swordsmen, which means that the opponent's highest estimate of strength is rank 5. Not taller than him. It might even be just rank 4, lower than his. This means that today this cave mansion, Chen Hongguang is determined. Ha ha ha, kid inside, you are in bad luck today, get out of here. Chen Hongguang laughed wildly and couldn't wait to dispatch his own troops. The rank 5 archer shoots 2 arrows in a row. Not good. Inside the cave mansion, Lin Shu, who was about to go to bed, cursed secretly. Death Knight also rushed out instantly, but it was too late. 2 arrows shot directly at powerful skeleton swordsmen. There was a huge gap in grade and level. The 2 skeleton swordsmen's health bars were instantly emptied and turned into bones on the ground, and they were instantly killed. Court death. Lin Shu was furious. This was the first time he had experienced combat attrition. The most important thing is that these 2 skeleton swordsmen have life sacrifice skills, which are his special units for killing monsters. I have accumulated more than a dozen points of energy just now, and I can recruit more than a dozen elite skeleton warriors immediately. Unexpectedly, the lord who appeared out of nowhere was killed in such an instant. You wanna die. Lin Shu cursed angrily and came to the door of cave mansion with a gloomy face. The Death Knight has rushed out of the cave mansion and launched a direct charge. Death Knight, hiss, outside the cave mansion, looking at the Death Knight as if death is coming. The proud smile on Chen Hongguang's face suddenly stopped. He was trembling as if his neck was being strangled and speechless. Hiss, die. Death Knight, hero, you have a hero. Chen Hongguang stammered and his eyes almost popped out. He looked at Death Knight with a ghostly look on his face, and he didn't know whether what came out of his mouth was death or hissing. Brother, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'm leaving now. Chen Hongguang watched Death Knight charge, and the white jade bone knife in his hand instantly killed one of his rank 5 units. He suddenly took a breath of cold air and quickly begged for mercy without caring about the loss. The regret in my heart turned green. I should have thought about it a long time ago. Could it be an ordinary person who can occupy the Blue Cave Mansion? I took action directly before I could figure out the person's strength. Now that I've angered the person, I'm afraid the matter won't go well. Leave. The soldiers who killed me are leaving now. Lin Shu snorted and looked very unhappy. Although the loss of 2 rank 3 troops was nothing. But skeleton swordsman's life sacrifice skill is very important, and it also takes a lot of experience to upgrade 2 skeleton swordsmen to level 10. It will inevitably take a lot of effort to synthesize a few more. The most important thing is that everyone takes a shower and changes clothes to get ready for bed. But being disturbed, no one would have a good temper. I'm sorry, brother, I'll pay for it. Why don't I pay for you? Don't kill me. Lin Shu felt uncomfortable. Chen Hongguang's heart was really bleeding at this moment. If he saves a Death Knight, although he is shocked, he will not be so low profile. This Death Knight is really a freak. The attack is ridiculously high. The flame archers under his command are all rank 5 soldiers, and they have all been promoted to more than 20 levels. But the Death Knight's sword was just like chopping melons and vegetables. It was simply outrageous. In such a short time, 2 of his 3 flame shooters had been killed instantly. Seeing that the last one could not escape the murderous hand, he suddenly collapsed. Oh, how do you plan to compensate? Lin Shu snorted coldly and ordered the Death Knight to stop. It's just a trial right now, there's no need to kill everyone. If satisfactory compensation can be provided, it is not impossible to let him go. How much compensation does this brother want? Chen Hongguang looked at Lin Shu carefully, with a hint of haze and hatred flashing in his eyes. Want? Lin Shu snorted coldly, and Death Knight took a step forward again. Chen Hongguang was suddenly frightened. No matter how many complaints there are in my heart, I dare not show them at this time, otherwise if the last flaming shooter is killed. All his efforts in the past 2 days were in vain. He might have to find a green cave mansion to deal with tonight. Even future development will be delayed a lot, which is a huge loss. No, no, no. I will give it. I gave it on my own initiative. Chen Hongguang felt extremely aggrieved, but he could only force a smile. 3 skill upgrade scrolls. Seeing Lin Shu's face still as cold as iron, Chen Hongguang cursed greed in his heart. He could only take out a skill book again. Command book. Skeleton Archer Advanced Skill Book. Soul Fire. Damaged Soul Fire 10. The Unlimited Skills Advancement Book is gone. Brother, I am really gone. Chen Hongguang was about to cry but looked at Lin Shu's face as he took out his inventory one by one. When the last valuable thing was taken out, Chen Hongguang suddenly collapsed. Next time if your eyes are brighter, you won't be so lucky when you meet someone else. Lin Shu's face was expressionless. Seeing that Chen Hongguang really couldn't take out anything, he said. In fact, there are a group of people who are happy in their hearts. As expected, these lucky ones are not built by their mother. All of them are extremely rich. Keep soul fire for yourself, get out. After collecting the 4 pieces of compensation, Lin Shu threw the damaged soul fire back and shouted. Quote. Chen Hongguang took a deep look at Lin Shu, then left with a livid face and the last flame shooter. You, I remember you. If you have the ability, don't let me meet you. Otherwise, humph. Chen Hongguang's face was livid, and he couldn't help but growl angrily after Lin Shu entered the cave mansion. Today, it was a great shame and humiliation for him. As the young master of the Chen family, he was forced to such an extent by a lord in the place of trial. This made him, who had always had a smooth life since childhood, feel as uncomfortable as 1,000 ants eating his heart. He vowed that he would take revenge in the future. On the second day, there were only a few people occupying the Blue Cave Mansion. What's more, there is also a hero, Death Knight, so I don't have to worry about not being able to find out this person's identity in the future. As long as you recognize this person, you will definitely make him look good when you go to the Starry Sky battlefield. In the cave mansion, Lin Shu didn't know he had offended a second generation. At this moment, he was so happy to see the harvest. It's so exciting. It's more fun to rob the lord than to fight the boss. Lin Shu was overjoyed. It would be great if there were more rich people like this. Welcome to Skeleton Swordsman Who Comes to Kill Him. Skeleton Archer Advanced Book. Recruiting remote will be announced in 2 days. Checking the loot, Lin Shu used it all directly. The Skeleton Archer recruitment technique has been upgraded to the Rank 2 Skeleton Shooter recruitment technique. The Unlimited Skill Upgrade Book is worth far more than the Skeleton Archer Upgrade Book. It is an existence that can work on any recruitment technique. Lin Shu still didn't think much about it. Directly used on the Skeleton Guard recruitment technique. Skeleton Swordsman Recruitment LV18. Spend 30 mana points to recruit up to 18 Skeleton Swordsmen from 1 corpse. The synthesis of 2-in-1 talent is progressing very quickly in the early stages. But according to the initial recruitment of skeleton warriors, it would cost at least more than 500,000 yuan to combine into a rank 7 unit. The number increases exponentially as you go up, and the amount required to synthesize the Netherworld Wraith Emperor of rank 10 is simply an astronomical number. Even with Skeleton Swordsman's life sacrifice skill, he couldn't even think of it. However, with the upgrade of the Skeleton Swordsman recruitment technique, the efficiency has been greatly improved. Only then did he have a glimmer of hope to synthesize the Netherworld Wraith Emperor in the trial land. Now if you advance again, you will be 1 step closer to this hope. But it's a bit wasteful to use only rank 2 troops. Looking at the Skeleton Swordsman recruitment technique, Lin Shu said with some pity. If it were anyone else, this skill book would definitely have to be used in the late stage to maximize its benefits. After all, the higher the grade, the higher the value of skill advancement books. The value of rank 2's Skeleton Guard advancement book and rank 3's Skeleton Swordsman advancement book are at least 10 times different. What's more, it is an unlimited skill advancement book, which can be reserved for high-level military units. But for Lin Shu, the higher his skills are improved, the better. Anyway, no matter what the level of the troops are, they are 2-in-1. The importance of skill advancement books has been greatly reduced. There is also a command book and 3 skill upgrade scrolls. Use them all. The higher the skill level, the higher the synthesis efficiency for Lin Shu. This kind of resource is usually used as soon as it is obtained. After all is used, the command power has been increased to 52 points, and the skeleton swordsman recruitment skill has also been upgraded to LV21. Skeleton swordsman recruitment technique, recruitment. After cleaning up the trophies, the bones of the dead rank 5 flame shooter naturally cannot be wasted. Lin Shu gave an order, and 21 skeleton swordsmen slowly climbed up from the ground. 21 skeleton swordsmen, leaving 1 skeleton swordsman and 5 powerful skeleton swordsmen after synthesis. Lin Shu did not continue to synthesize, but simply let 5 powerful skeleton swordsmen guard the goal. The experience is divided equally between them and the Death Knight. After arranging everything, Lin Shu lay comfortably on the big bed. I can finally sleep comfortably. However, he didn't know that he slept comfortably. Some of the other lords couldn't sleep. In a blue cave mansion somewhere, Jong Ching Yong looked at the second name on the cave mansion rankings. No matter how I look at it, I feel uncomfortable. If Eten is the well-deserved number 1 in Cemetery of Size, then starting with rank 6 at the beginning, he is definitely bound to win number 2. This was indeed the case yesterday, relying on tyrannical strength. We easily won the first Cyan Cave Mansion and ranked 2nd in the Cave Mansion rankings. He even has an ambition in his heart. If he can successfully recruit Eten first before he recruits the second high-level unit, it's not like he has no hope of competing for the first place. After all, recruiting troops is definitely easier at low level than at high level. Although there is only 1 level difference between rank 6 and rank 7, the difficulty of recruiting the required materials has gone up to a higher level. It is very possible to recruit a second rank 6 unit before Eten. But today, number 1 has not seen the shadow yet. But even the second place was snatched away. It can only be this way. Jong Ching Yong looked grim and muttered to himself. Then he opened the friends bar and clicked on Lin Shu's avatar. Time passed by minute by second, looking at the silent chat window. Jong Ching Yong's face gradually darkened, and then he opened the chat windows of several other people. Half an hour later, the Cave Mansion ranking list, which had been silent for a long time, suddenly jumped. Countless lords who were watching the rankings with nothing to do were instantly in an uproar. I saw Lin Shu firmly occupying the second place on the ranking list. The ranking was once again squeezed down 1 place, falling to 3rd. But Jong Ching Yong, who was originally ranked 6th, instantly jumped into 2nd place. NO2, Jong Ching Yong Purple Cave Mansion 1 minute. Boss 666 actually defeated the Purple Cave Mansion. Comparable to Boss Eten. The only one who has cleared the Purple Cave Mansion. How terrifying. The Purple Cave Mansion Guardian Beast is at least a rank 7 boss, right? Could it be that Jong Ching Yong also has a rank 7 soldier? That's not right. I remember that the boss showed off his troops yesterday. He is the Undead King of rank 6, right? How can he defeat the rank 7 boss? What's impossible? The attribute gap between rank 6 and rank 7 is not that big. If 1 is not enough, 2 or 3 will be enough. Materials for recruiting rank 6 troops are not that easy to find. Do you think you are recruiting skeletons? Then how did you do it? Can the ranking of Purple Cave Mansion be faked? Quote. The chat channel was instantly in an uproar, and countless lords exclaimed. There are also many people who are puzzled and question how Jong Ching Yong did it. Some people gave various reasons and were questioned, but the purple steaming ranking was there. No matter how many people are dissatisfied, everyone can finally shut up. You actually got through the Purple Cave Mansion too. In a Purple Cave Mansion somewhere, Eten, who was enjoying a cigarette afterward, suddenly sat up from the bed. 2 fox girls with charming faces were exposed, their fluffy white tails covering their vital parts. But it seems more attractive. How is it possible? Could it be that he recruited multiple rank 6 soldiers? How is it possible? Eten's face was uncertain, and he felt a sense of crisis. Purple Cave Mansion, although he fought easily. But it has basically reached its limit. If he wants to enter the higher level White Cave Mansion, he won't be sure in a short time. Recruiting a second Frostbone Dragon is not enough, at least 3 are needed. But now, a second purple cave mansion owner has appeared. This is undoubtedly a great threat to him. Tomorrow, if you can't find a purple cave mansion quickly, it is very likely that he will fall from the number 1 spot. However, before he could think of a countermeasure, the third purple cave mansion owner appeared. NO3, Lin Yao purple cave mansion 1 minute. What? Another one appears. Yi Tian's expression changed drastically again, and his intuition told him that this matter was definitely not normal. Lin Yao is also a rank 6 soldier, but how is it possible for both of them to recruit multiple rank 6 soldiers at the same time and clear the purple cave mansion one after another? However, no matter how hard he thought, he couldn't figure out what other solution besides recruiting multiple rank 6 troops. The World Channel also became a quarrel because of this incident. Countless lords looked at the rankings with envy, wishing they could change their names to their own. Everyone wondered how Jong Ching Yong and Lin Yao did it, but there was still no result that convinced everyone. This wasn't over yet. A few minutes later the fourth purple cave mansion owner showed up. However, the names that appeared this time seemed a bit unfamiliar. NO4, Chen Hongguang purple cave mansion 1 minute. I recognize Jong Ching Yong and Lin Yao. Who is Chen Hongguang? Hidden Dragon and Crouching Tiger, another dark horse, the second Lin Shu. Hey, who is Lin Shu? Is he worthy of being compared with Chen Hongguang? Chen Hongguang seems to be the 189th on the cave mansion rankings yesterday. Is he just the owner of the green cave mansion? Holy shit, is this world crazy? There was Lin Shu, who was green yesterday and blue today, and now there is Chen Hongguang, who was green yesterday and purple today. Nah. Is this the power of opportunity? Why can't I meet an opportunity? Just wait for me. I also want to look for opportunities. Brothers, wait for my news. I will go to the White Cave Mansion tomorrow. Quote. The chat channel was in an uproar. The many lords were full of talents. Someone soon dug out Chen Hongguang's information. The existence of the 189th yesterday. The 168th existence on the Divine Power list soared directly to the 4th place on the Cave Mansion list today, occupying the same level as Yi Tian's Purple Cave Mansion. This result undoubtedly made many people unbearable and jealous beyond recognition. But there are also many people who are watching the fun and not taking it too seriously, and they are speculating whether there will be a 5th one. There was even a lord named Kui Zihao who opened a gambling bureau, raised a lot of money and then fled. Countless lords who had been harmed denounced it one after another, and the style of the chat channel suddenly changed. Some people are too lazy to pay attention and keep paying attention to the rankings. I slowly breathed a sigh of relief when I discovered that there was finally no 5th purple cave mansion owner. Lin Shu fell asleep and slept extremely comfortably on the soft big bed. I had no idea that such a big thing happened in the cemetery of size. I don't know that in a certain purple cave mansion, although Yi Tian is pregnant with 2 beauties from the fox tribe. But my heart was restless, and I couldn't find a moment of peace. After a sleepless night, Lin Shu woke up in the morning. When I reflexively opened the ranking list, my eyes widened immediately. What's going on? Lin Shu jumped up from the bed and looked at the rankings with a blank expression. I saw that he, who was originally ranked 2nd, was now ranked 5th. Number 1, Yi Tian Purple Cave Mansion 11 hours and 22 minutes. NO2, Jong Ching Yong Purple Cave Mansion 9 hours and 36 minutes. NO3, Lin Yao Purple Cave Mansion 9 hours and 8 minutes. NO4, Chen Hongguang Purple Cave Mansion 8 hours and 35 minutes. NO5, Lin Shu Blue Cave Mansion 11 hours and 57 minutes. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. So many people to get through the Purple Cave Mansion. Lin Shu murmured solemnly, and the pride in her heart instantly disappeared. Instead, there is a sense of awe for the people of the world. Human race fights in the starry sky battlefield and competes with many powerful races. Among them are the sacred angel and dragon of innate, the unparalleled titan and behemoth. There are also elves with archery and spirit ascension, ultras who are proficient in the power of light, etc. There are countless strong people in the starry sky, and the proud ones are unparalleled. The reason human race can persist today is because of the endless emergence of the proud ones brought by the huge population base. Blue Star is just the ancestral star of the human race. Since the development of Lord's history, human race has already left the blue star and faced the universe. It rules 3,000 star domains, and its population has already exceeded billions. There are trillions of new trainee lords born every year. Among so many human races, it is completely normal for some evildoers to appear. Now I have not even reached the top of the cemetery of sighs. He actually felt proud, and he was really looking at the sky from the bottom of a well. The goal of the new king has a long way to go. The revolution has not yet succeeded, comrades still need to work hard. Lin Shu felt so ashamed that she beat herself secretly. Prevent yourself from slacking off because of some achievements. A few minutes passed, and the 12 hours were up. The bloody moonlight gradually faded, and finally disappeared together with the blood moon. The gray sky once again enveloped the desolate land, and countless cave mansion light beams disappeared instantly with the disappearance of the blood moon. Then the cave mansion prophet prompt began to sound in the minds of all the lords. Occupied. Blue cave mansion. Duration: 12 hours. Benefits: life 72, mana 72, life mana recovery +2 per minute, command +6. The pleasant sound sounded in his mind, immediately dispelling the depression and solemnity in Lin Shu's heart. In the blue cave mansion, it only took less than half a minute to kill the guardian boss. If the actual occupied time exceeds 11 hours and 58 minutes, it will default to the full value of 12 hours. Life and mana each increased by 72 points, soaring directly to 136. With divine power of 272, he directly broke through to the Bronze Lord. In addition, occupying a cave mansion above Cyan will also permanently increase the life and mana recovery effects. After occupying the blue cave mansion, you will gain life and mana permanent recovery speed +2. The command power also increased by 6 points again, reaching 58 points. Coupled with the 20-point command bonus brought by being promoted to Bronze Lord, the command power directly reaches 78 points. ID: Lin Shu. Bronze Lord. Power: 272. Life: 136. Mana: 136. Command power: 78. Skill: Skeleton Swordsman Recruitment Technique LV21. It consumes 30 mana points to recruit up to 21 rank 3 Skeleton Swordsmen at one time. Skeleton Shooter Recruitment Technique LV1. Spend 10 mana points to recruit 1 rank 2 Skeleton Shooter at one time. Necromancer Recruitment Technique LV1. Spend 5 mana points to recruit 2 rank 1 Necromancers at one time. Zombie Recruitment Level 1. Spend 5 mana points to recruit 2 rank 1 zombies at one time. Bone Horse Recruitment Technique LV1. Spend 5 mana points to recruit 1 Bone Horse mount at one time. Military Type. Powerful Skeleton General Death Knight, 6 stars strong rank 6-1. DVERTISEMENT. Elite Skeleton General, rank 6, *1. Powerful Skeleton Warlord, strong rank 5, *1. Ghost Fire Shooter, weak rank 4, *1. Powerful Skeleton Swordsman, strong rank 3, *5. Skeleton Swordsman, weak rank 3, *1. Opening square bracket .. Closing square bracket. Looking at the luxurious property panel, Lin Shu nodded with satisfaction. In just 2 days, the number of units increased from 1 to 5. His divine power exceeded the 200 mark and he successfully advanced to become a Bronze Lord, and his command power reached 58 points. The most luxurious ones are the military units, with 2 units of rank 6. The weakest one also has the strength of rank 3. Let's go. Today's goal is to combine Death Knight into rank 7. The cave mansion disappeared, and the gentle big bed disappeared like a dream bubble. Standing on the scorched, barren land, Lin Shu clenched his fists and set a goal for himself. Tonight, we must get a purple cave mansion. Click, click, click. On the barren land, the sound of bones colliding echoed in all directions. Lin Shu looked around and saw only a few undead monsters wandering around. Today the density has increased more than 5 times. Countless undead monsters are wandering aimlessly in the desolate land, and their levels and ranks have even improved a lot. Originally, most of the monsters were skeletons, but now they are generally elite skeleton warrior or above. There are even some rank 2 skeleton guard or skeleton shooter. The real trial is about to begin. Lin Shu recalled what he had learned over the past 10 years in Transmigrate. The third day of the trial began. The strength of monsters will gradually increase, and the real danger will begin from today. Lords who cannot improve their strength in time to adapt to the monsters in the trial land, you will be in danger of death. The massive elimination and death will also start from today. However, the lords who can survive will have their strength improved by leaps and bounds. After all, the stronger the monster, the higher its level, which corresponds to the improvement of material quality and the higher chance of releasing high-level equipment and skill books. Countless Rank 2 troop recruitment techniques will also become popular starting from today. Let lords universally obtain Rank 2 units. On the 5th day, Rank 3. The last day, the 7th, Rank 4. Lords who can successfully pass the trial will have at least Rank 4 troops. Only in this way can you become a true lord and step into the starry sky battlefield to compete with myriad races for hegemony. For Lin Shu, there is another benefit. That is, with more monsters, Death Knight's efficiency will be greatly improved whether it is upgrading or upgrading. When the cave mansion disappeared, all the lords were exposed to the eyes of the undead monsters. The surrounding monsters were suddenly ready to move and slowly gathered. Lin Shu did not rush to kill monsters, but looked around the powerful skeleton swordsman. The skill of life sacrifice is a magical skill in the early stage, and one night of fighting brought more than 300 elite skeleton warriors. Synthesize it all. Lin Shu ignored the charging monsters and the powerful skeleton swordsman consciously stood on the outside. Although the strength of Rank 3 troops is no longer valued by Lin Shu, for most monsters who are only Rank 1, they are still one sword at a time. Get Powerful Skeleton Warrior 168. Get Skeleton Guard 84. Get Elite Skeleton Guard 42. Get Powerful Skeleton Guard 21. Opening square bracket ... closing square bracket. Get Powerful Skeleton Swordsman 2. Rubbish. Lin Shu curled his lips. As his strength increased, skeleton swordsman's life sacrifice skills became less and less attractive. The elite skeleton warrior brought about by a night of struggle turned out to be 2 powerful Rank 3 units. However, no matter how small the mosquitoes are, they are still meat. A few mosquitoes are better than none. Before skeleton swordsman was enough to deal with monsters and beasts, Lin Shu had no intention of replacing them. Leaving 3 powerful skeleton swordsmen, Lin Shu synthesized the remaining 4 directly. Transformed into an elite skeleton knight, he was preparing to lead his troops to set off. Suddenly a heavenly voice suddenly resounded throughout the cemetery of sighs. Tip: the bloodthirsty world boss, the Undead Bear King appears at coordinates 89,542 and 5,412 in the Sleepless Land. All lords are requested to go and kill him. Closing square bracket. Anyone who causes damage can receive rewards. The higher the damage, the higher the ranking, the better the reward. The vast heavenly voice suddenly sounded and spread throughout everyone's minds. At the same time, a coordinate seemed to be positioned in everyone's mind, and a world map appeared. The location where the boss refreshes and where you are clearly marked. Who is the world boss? Lin Shu was startled, then looked shocked. World boss, as the name suggests, is a high-level boss that only appears in the entire map world. Once killed, the explosion rate is astonishing, of course. The strength of a boss of this level is also amazing, far beyond the so-called level limit. The offense and defense may not be too outrageous, but the health bar is ridiculously high. Far from being able to be challenged by a single lord, it is necessary to gather countless lords to kill it together to have the possibility of killing it. Once the boss is defeated, all participants will receive generous rewards. All participants will be ranked according to the damage caused to the boss, with the one causing the most damage. The lord ranked first will get the right to own the boss. Have all the items exploded by the boss. Other participants will also receive kill gift boxes. The higher the ranking, the better the contents in the gift boxes. It can be said to be a carnival for all the lords in the entire region. Of course, the premise is that the boss can be killed. Otherwise there is not much to say. The distance is almost 90 kilometers, it will take more than an hour to get there. Lin Shu frowned slightly and felt a little depressed. He simply checked that the coordinates were more than 90 kilometers away from his current location. Even at the speed of a sweaty horse, it would take at least more than an hour to get there. Let's go and kill the boss. Although the distance was a bit far, Lin Shu still did not hesitate. For the strong, the rewards from killing the boss are much greater than from killing the mobs. The mobs gain almost nothing except experience. Just kill a boss with explosive props and equipment, and the strength improvement brought by it is worth how many levels it has been upgraded to. Especially for Lin Shu, killing a boss is nothing more than anything else. Just the corpse of the boss, when recruited, is worth thousands of corpses of monsters. There's finally an event. The world boss. Wow, haha, this boss is right next to me, the boss is mine. Brother, don't get excited. If no strong person comes to fight the boss, aren't you looking for death if you do it? Brothers, rush. Last year, my brother said that the top 100 bosses in the world's damage list have a high chance of directly obtaining the rank 3 military recruitment technique. A few years ago, someone killed the world boss and exploded the divine weapon. Holy shit, what happened? Someone suddenly appeared and started killing the boss. It's Jong Ching Yong, and Lin Yao, and Chen Hongguang. They're already on the damage list. They are all big guys. Jong Ching Yong and Lin Yao are rank 6 soldiers, and Chen Hongguang is rank 5 soldiers. The boss is here. Ha ha ha, I'm also on the damage list, did you see? I'm the 4th one. I curse you for not being able to handle the boss and get killed. Why are they running so fast? They can't all be nearby, right? It's a team teleportation scroll. They've formed a team, and there's a teleportation scroll. Not bad. I thought of it when I was killing the Purple Cave Mansion last night. It must be a team of multiple people to clear the Purple Cave Mansion. Quote. The first national event in the trial land was launched, and the chat channel immediately exploded. In the endless cemetery of sighs, there will always be someone who happens to be near the sleepless land, but before people can talk about anything. Some people exclaimed that they had already started fighting the boss. Everyone couldn't help being surprised. When they opened the damage list, they saw that 4 names had already appeared on it. Number 1, Jong Ching Yong damage 3856. NO2, Lin Yao damage 3555. NO3, Chen Hongguang damage 1689. NO4, Saizizi damage 86. Opening square bracket. Closing square bracket. The last one, the number is a bit different from the previous 3. Obviously, he is the lucky one who happens to be at the place where the boss spawns. Normally, with the strength of the ordinary lord, it is difficult to enter the top 100 of the damage list. However, he was lucky enough to have plenty of time. Maybe if you add up to a little, you can eventually achieve a ranking that surpasses many powerful lords. If you can't get a reward to be given to a high-level soldier, you might be able to turn around from now on. Team up, group teleportation scroll. Looking at the speeches of everyone in the chat channel, Lin Shu suddenly realized. Last night, these 3 people cleared the Purple Cave Mansion one after another, and today they appeared together at the boss refresh area. No fool would believe it if it was a coincidence. Obviously there is only one explanation, that is, someone among the 3 got the team props. Completed the team formation directly in the trial ground, and there is also a group teleportation scroll. You can teleport teammates directly to your side to fight together. My luck is incredible. Lin Shu cursed secretly and couldn't help but be envious. Whether it is team props or group teleportation props, they are all extremely valuable. It's extremely rare. At least he didn't get one even after killing so many bosses. These 2 people can gather these 2 things together, which to a certain extent is enough to illustrate their strength. Regardless of killing monsters and leveling up, Lin Shu rode out on the sweat-blooded horse and rushed out like the wind. Occasionally, the undead monster he encountered tried to step forward, but he rushed past him like a gust of wind. There was no time to even eat the ashes. Along the way, as we get closer and closer to the sleepless land, gradually, I met more and more lords. Countless lords gathered from all directions towards the sleepless land, trying to rush to the battlefield as soon as possible to get a share of the pie. When Lin Shu roared past on a sweat-blooded horse, it immediately attracted the envious and odd looks of countless lords. Mount. There is actually a mount. Hush, keep your voice down, this mount doesn't look simple, and I don't know who is the strongest one on the ranking list. They are also trainee lords, why are they so powerful? Hey, this is life, I can't explain it. Hurry up and hurry up. There are already more than 20 people in the top 100 of the rankings. I don't know if the world's boss can survive until we get there. Haha, it's definitely possible. It will take at least 7 or 8 hours to kill the world boss. We just need to rush over and poke it to win a participation prize. That's right, there are so many strong people, but the only ones who really compete are the top 100, and those who come after are only given a participation award. What's the difference if you go earlier or later? That's what I say, but even Lord Ordinary who arrived first has no chance of getting into the top 100. Let's go, let's go. Quote. A group of lords gradually gathered together on the way forward. They were discussing enthusiastically, and everyone's eyes were full of enthusiasm. It turns out that I just relied on teaming up to clear the Purple Cave Mansion. A frost-bone dragon flew in the gray sky, silently surpassing countless lords and rushing towards the coordinate point. Looking down at the countless lords on the ground who were discussing something heatedly but unaware of the appearance of a huge thing above their heads, Eten showed a condescending smile on his lips and murmured to himself. He had a sense of crisis since yesterday, but now, after understanding what happened, I put my heart back in my stomach. It turned out that it was just relying on strength in numbers. How could it compare to him killing the Purple Cave Mansion boss single-handedly? So what if I got there first? It's only been half an hour now and I've only done less than 100,000 damage. Today, I will let you know what the real new king is. Eten smiled proudly and stood on the back of the rank 7 unit frost flying dragon. He stood facing the wind with his hands behind his back, and the howling wind made the scarlet cloak behind him rustle. If others saw the image of an expert hermit, they would be shocked and speechless. He has absolute confidence, the LV-35 rank 7 frost bone dragon. With the addition of equipment, the attack can reach over 30,000. Even if the boss's defense exceeds 10,000, it only takes one strike to cause 20,000 damage. Coupled with skills, the damage is only 100,000. Jong Ching Yong, who was second, played for a full half hour, but for him it only took less than 2 minutes. So what if I let you fight for 2 hours first? I will definitely win the first seat. Eten thought proudly, he was going to decide the world's boss. Not to mention the boss's ownership, the loot that will be revealed will only be the boss's corpse. It was enough for him to recruit a second rank 7 frost bone dragon today. And there's more than one. Eten looked at his attribute column, which showed the frostbone dragon recruitment technique with a level as high as LV-18. Smile slightly. Even if one world boss cannot recruit the maximum number of frostbone dragons, it is absolutely no problem to recruit at least 2 or 3. When the time comes, 4 rank 7 frost ancient dragons will be in hand. White Cave Mansion is an absolute breeze. Congratulations, Master, this world boss will definitely be captured easily. 2 charming fox girls stood behind him and congratulated him at the right time. Ha ha ha. Eten was even more proud when he heard the words, laughing wildly and looking at the ground in the distance under the strong wind. This immediately made countless lords who were marching in a hurry bewilderment, thinking that they had encountered some strange boss. Number 1. Jong Ching Yong injury 243,564. NO2, Lin Yao damage 239,546. NO3, Chen Hongguang damage 154,256. NO4, Fang Yifan damage 132,521. Opening square bracket. Closing square bracket. NO12, Sizazi damage 9,875. An hour later, Lin Shu finally arrived at the Sleepless Land riding a sweat-blooded horse. Looking at the few names on the ranking list, I felt relieved. It doesn't matter to others, as long as he arrives before Eten. Then he has a lot of confidence in winning this boss. Cemetery of Size is still too big after all. There are very few lords appearing in an area, even if the world boss is spawned. Countless lords are rushing here, and it will take at least an hour for the real large army to arrive. He was more than 80 kilometers away, and it took him a full hour to arrive. At this moment, in the Sleepless Land, the number of lords who have killed the boss can only be compared to 100 people. Stand back. All melee units below rank 4, get out of here. Move. Chen Hongguang, are you an idiot? Keep your flame shooter away from me. Who is that? Who is that skeleton swordsman? If you stop blocking my way, I will kill you first. Xiao Yao, control one hand. Quick, control one hand. Quote. Before seeing the boss, Lin Shu heard a cursing voice commanding. The tone was extremely violent, and many of the lords who scolded them turned pale. One of the lords, in particular, was so angry that his lips trembled, but he did not dare to speak. Lin Shu was immediately happy when he saw it. This guy was the cave mansion that he wanted to rob him yesterday. As a result, the unlucky guy was almost wiped out by a Death Knight charge. It turned out to be Chen Hongguang. After failing to snatch the blue cave mansion, he actually got involved in the purple cave mansion. Lin Shu's eyes were complicated, and she couldn't help but lament the impermanence of fate. Then look at a handsomely dressed young man not far away, standing on a large raised rock in the distance. A trumpet came out of nowhere and was spitting out fragrance. Jong Ching Yong, that girl is Lin Yao. After recognizing Chen Hongguang, it will be easy to identify other people. Lin Shu recognized the identities of several people with a little thought. Jong Ching Yong, as the second strongest person in the ranking. He is also the most powerful person present, so it is natural that he is the one to command the battle. Although Chen Hongguang is also the owner of rank 5 arms, he was almost wiped out by Lin Shu yesterday. His strength is undoubtedly much lower than that of Jong Ching Yong and Lin Yao, and his status is not like a teammate at all but more like a servant. Being scolded by Jong Ching Yong was so bloody that it was no wonder that this guy was so angry that he was almost smoking. Jong Ching Yong was much more polite to Lin Yao. Just shouting from Xiao Yao, Lin Yao obviously didn't buy his account. His face was as cold as ice, but he still had to cooperate with him in fighting. Here comes another. One with a mount. Looks like a strong man. Great, finally a strong man is here. Quote. The appearance of Lin Shu made many lords overjoyed. Jong Ching Yong is just like a tyrant, forcing everyone to follow his orders to fight the boss. Originally, there was nothing wrong with this. After all, world bosses are no joke. There is no doubt that a mess of kills is not advisable. His command has indeed reduced the ordinary lord's losses a lot. But his mouth is so stinky. He yelled and scolded others. Even Chen Hongguang, the leader and teammate of the rank 5 unit, was not polite. He often yells and curses, let alone other people. Everyone has long hoped for a few more strong men to come. It would be best if Eten could come quickly. See if this guy dares to be so arrogant. A lord appeared in front of him, although it was not Eten. But it didn't look simple, so they couldn't help but look forward to it. Who is that? The new ones will report their military types, and the people who have sent out their military units should stand aside immediately. Jong Ching Yong also noticed Lin Shu's arrival, but did not take him to heart. He didn't think anyone could shake his command. Either obey my command, or get out of here, otherwise I won't mind killing you first. The arrogant words made Lin Shu's face suddenly darken. He is just a lord of rank 6 arms. Do you really think you are the new king? Oh, what if I say no? Lin Shu raised his eyelids and summoned the Death Knight with a thought in his mind. Looking at the superior Jong Ching Yong with disdain, he said lightly. Rank 6 soldiers. No, hero. This was not the first time that Jong Ching Yong was provoked, but everyone obeyed the command obediently in the end. This time I thought I would have to do some extra work, but when I saw the Death Knight next to Lin Shu, his expression suddenly changed. 6-star hero. Death Knight. Jong Ching Yong's face suddenly turned red, almost turning the color of pig liver. At the same time, Chen Hongguang, who had been yelled at by Jong Ching Yong for a long time, was ashamed and angry. After seeing Lin Shu, his expression suddenly changed. Death Knight, is it you? You know. Jong Ching Yong looked at Chen Hongguang in surprise, feeling as if he had grasped a life-saving straw. He was used to being arrogant, so he thought he knew some powerful people. The person in front of me seemed to have some strength, but I didn't recognize him at all. I thought he was just a strong man ranked 40 or 50, and he was left to his own devices. However, who would have thought that this person would actually recruit a 6-star hero by pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? Haha, it turns out he's a friend of Brother Chen. It's great that he's here. Our lineup is missing a tank that can carry it head on. Jong Ching Yong didn't wait for Chen Hongguang to speak, and laughed to himself again. Without mentioning the arrogant order just now, he looked at Lin Shu affectionately and issued the order naturally. Brother, send your Death Knight to the front to carry it. It will be at that position. The rest will follow my command. Jong Ching Yong issued orders on his own, as if Lin Shu was already his subordinate. Lin Shu couldn't help but admire his face because of his natural expression. It's not just luck that such a person can achieve what he does today. After all, with such a thick skin and an attitude of switching between offense and defense, it would be embarrassing to fall out with someone so thin. However, his second life is naturally not something that can be manipulated so easily. He ignored Jong Ching Yong's words and looked at Chen Hongguang playfully. He didn't say a word, but his playful look made Chen Hongguang feel ashamed and angry. I can't wait to find a crack in the ground and crawl into it. Quick, Death Knight, come on, who is that? Give me your skeleton swordsman. Jong Ching Yong was still chattering, not noticing the weird atmosphere at all. Roll. Lin Shu glanced at Jong Ching Yong impatiently and shouted lightly. Who do you think you are? Why should I obey your orders? He could hear the abacus beads being played from thousands of miles away, so he let his Death Knight resist damage, so that his rank 6 unit can output at full power. Those who didn't know thought they were his subordinates. Ha ha ha, well said. Who do you think Jong Ching Yong is? You really thought it would be great to be ranked second on the list. Lin Shu's harsh words immediately made other lords who were unwilling to be commanded by Jong Ching Yong overjoyed. They all echoed out loud. Not bad. I got the second place in the rankings with the help of others. Do you really think of yourself as a dish? Haha, using chicken feathers as command arrows, you just want us to help you resist damage so that you can output with all your strength. Do you really think that we are all fools? HMPH, if you ask me, I would rather have this brother take charge. You commanded my skeleton knight to resist damage, and deliberately blocked my movement so that I could resist just for you to hit me. If you weren't strong enough, I would be the first to kill you. Quote. It can be seen that all the lords have been suffering from Jong Ching Yong for a long time. It's just because they don't have enough strength, plus they come one by one. Seeing everyone being enslaved by Jong Ching Yong, they had no choice but to obey, and none of them dared to be angry but dared not speak out. But at this moment, with Lin Shu's unceremonious resistance, coupled with Lin Shu's outstanding 6-star hero Death Knight, it is obvious that even Jong Ching Yong is afraid of him. They immediately didn't care so much, and directly echoed loudly and stood behind Lin Shu. He even took back his own troops and left the battlefield. Jong Ching Yong never expected that this scene would happen, and his face suddenly turned green and white with anger. He looked at Lin Shu angrily. You dare to provoke me? Do you really think that I am afraid of you just because you are a 6-star hero? Jong Ching Yong was furious, especially when he saw that his teammates Lin Yao and Chen Hongguang were indifferent. I couldn't help but become even more angry. I don't know if you are afraid or not, but we are all trainee lords, and we are from the 3000-star domain. Even if you are the young master in the upper city, there is no need to be afraid of you. Lin Shu said lightly that he did not expect that so many lords would defect to him. But this is enough to show how arrogant, domineering and unpopular Jong Ching Yong is. But if you want to fight me, I don't care, as long as you dodge the boss's blow first. Lin Shu said nonchalantly, he came to kill the boss. Don't take the initiative to cause trouble, but don't be afraid of it either. The world boss may seem powerful, but it will only be a matter of time before he dies in front of the huge number of lords. Battle command is not even necessary. After all, most of the lords are just here to take damage and win a participation reward, allowing them to resist damage at the risk of losing troops. Providing himself with a safe output environment will ultimately only improve his personal ranking. This kind of behavior is understandable. If you have the strength to suppress the entire audience, naturally, no one dares to say anything bad. But if you still want to stand on the moral high ground and kidnap others like this, it's a bit like being and making a mark at the same time. How brave. I will come back to deal with you later. Jong Ching Yong's face was livid, but he was flawless in finding trouble for Lin Shu. As a large number of lords withdrew their troops, the battle with the boss suddenly became dangerous. The world boss is a huge bear king with only half a body. Half of his body is rotten and only supported by bones. The other half of the body was covered with rotten flesh, looking like half zombie and half skeleton. It is huge, with a height of 10 meters, and its huge bear paw is almost as big as a tabletop. The speed is not slow either. Many lords helped him resist damage before, so he had a stable output environment. At this moment, as many lords were dissatisfied with his command and withdrew from the battlefield, he suddenly became a little confused. Without paying attention, a rank 5 skeleton warlord of unknown origin could not avoid being slapped by the Bear King. Immediately, without even making a sound, he was instantly killed and turned into withered bones all over the ground. You don't even want the participation prize. Jong Ching Yong roared angrily, his distressed face turning green. Although he is a rank 6 soldier, materials of this level are not easy to come across. So far, there is only one rank 6 initial unit, and the remaining main force is still a few rank 5 units. At this moment, he lost one of them by accident. For him, the loss was not a heavy one. Everyone, let's do our best. No matter what we can't deal with the rankings. Lin Shu was too lazy to pay attention to Jong Ching Yong's incompetent rage and smiled at the others and said, "But just be careful not to be tricked by this fool." Ha ha ha. The others burst into laughter, bowed their hands towards Lin Shu, and then headed towards the boss from other directions. Melee players inevitably need to pay attention, but long-range soldiers are getting excited at this moment. In this kind of damage fighting battle, you have an absolute advantage. All you need to do is find a safe position and keep outputting. Seeing others going around to the back to output, Jong Ching Yong's face twisted in anger. But there is no way, but with more troops joining in the harassment. His pressure suddenly eased a lot, and he couldn't help but look at the Death Knight next to Lin Shu with a gloomy expression. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and he couldn't help but sneer. Although the Death Knight is strong, it is also a melee unit. If you dare to be arrogant with me, I will see how arrogant you can be without the Death Knight. Jong Ching Yong sneered, planning to come later if Lin Shu dared to come up. Even if you try to reduce the damage a little, you have to trick him. If you can directly trick Death Knight to death, that would be even better. More than 200,000 injuries. Lin Shu took a look at the rankings and then at the battlefield. Muttering to himself, Jong Ching Yong, who ranks first, has done nearly 300,000 damage. His arms are also from the skeleton series, but he starts with rank 6 skeleton general. There is only one initial one, but there are 5 or 6 rank 5 skeleton warlords. However, one of them had been killed by a slap from the Bear King just now, and now there were only 5 left. As a melee unit, there is no one else to help with damage resistance. His efficiency has obviously dropped a lot, and he will soon be overtaken by Lin Yao. In this kind of battlefield, long-range troops will undoubtedly have an absolute advantage. Lin Yao's rank 6 troop is an undead that looks like a porcupine. Has the ability to attack from a distance, and seems to have control skills. Occasionally, the undead Bear King can be pushed back a certain distance. Although it is not much, it is enough to get the troops out of danger. The damage is increasing rapidly at this moment. Jong Ching Yong's face turned livid. He called Lin Yao several times to help control him, but the other party pretended not to hear. He was even more angry and his face was so gloomy that water dripped from his face. Don't let me get the chance. Jong Ching Yong placed all the blame on Lin Shu, and his eyes couldn't help but become more resentful when looking at Lin Shu. Lin Shu was too lazy to pay attention to this villain and was not in a hurry to take action. Instead, he watched every undead fighting the Bear King and calculated the attack and defense of the undead Bear King. It was quickly calculated roughly. Ordinary attack can instantly kill the LV-10 skeleton warlord, but it cannot instantly kill the LV-20 skeleton swordsman. The attack should be around 5,000, and including defense, it should be within 8,000. The LV-30 skeleton general can deal nearly 3,000 damage each time. The defense is almost 7,000. The offense and defense are almost equivalent to a strong LV-30 rank 6 unit, which can resist. Ordinary attack poses almost no threat to Lin Shu. In other words, the top 10 in the rankings basically have the strength to resist. Of course, this is only under ideal conditions. The reason why bosses are bosses is because they not only attack ordinary. There are also many powerful skills. Therefore, even if Jong Ching Yong has a rank 6 skeleton general, he would not dare to resist the attack of the Undead Bear King casually. After all, no one can tell which attack is a skill or an ordinary attack before trying out the Undead Bear King's skills. Ghost Fire Shooter, enter. Lin Shu's heart moved and she was about to take action. Suddenly, as if I felt something, an extremely cold breath fell from the sky. Everyone couldn't help but shudder. Roar. The Undead Bear King also seemed to feel the crisis, and couldn't help but roar anxiously. A death aura suddenly condensed on the huge body, and it was slapped hard on the ground along with the bear's paws. Be careful, the skill is being released. Someone with sharp eyes suddenly exclaimed. Everyone's expressions suddenly changed. However, before they had time to react, the ground suddenly surged the next second as if a major earthquake had occurred. All the undead within 100 meters were knocked up, and countless skeletons flew around and turned into withered bones and fell back to the ground. Ah, my skeleton knight, PFF'd. My LV-30 skeleton swordsman was killed instantly. My necromancer. No, give me back my undead sandworm. Quote. The Undead Bear King's skills were released too fast, exceeding everyone's reaction. With one blow, he killed at least hundreds of soldiers instantly, making countless lords' eyes turn red. Everyone was crying for their father and mother, and they were so heartbroken that they couldn't breathe. Huh, what a bunch of trash. Jong Ching Yong snorted disdainfully. He had been paying attention to Lin Shu's movements just now. Instead of sending the main force to play, they escaped this disaster. Kakakaka. Critical hit. Minus 129,785. Just when everyone was heartbroken, a huge damage suddenly floated from the head of the Undead Bear King. Endless frost condensed in the next second, and the skeleton of the Undead Bear King was suddenly covered with frost. It was as if he was frozen, and his movement speed instantly slowed down by 80%. If you move a little, the ice cubes will collide with the bones, making a clicking sound. Look, what is in the sky? Someone looked up along the ice and exclaimed, and everyone looked up and gasped. A huge frost bone dragon hangs high in the sky like a moving castle. The hollow dragon's mouth opened, and a stream of frost air spit out like an icicle. It accurately landed on the Undead Bear King, and instantly another huge damage figure floated up. Minus 20,568. Hiss. Seeing this huge damage, everyone suddenly took a breath. His eyes almost popped out. Frost Bone Dragon. It's Frost Bone Dragon. Eten. Lord Eten is here. Rank 7 soldier. Frost Bone Dragon. Hiss. As expected of Lord Eten, he can do more than 20,000 damage. Are you crazy? Just 2 clicks and you immediately rank 3rd. Hiss. Master Eten, it's so terrifying. Quote. The entire audience was in an uproar. Some people looked at the damage ranking list and their faces turned green. With just 2 strikes, Eten directly squeezed through hundreds of people and entered the 3rd place instantly. Even Chen Hongguang, who arrived at the beginning, killed many small bosses. The damage caused was instantly squeezed into 4th place. The Frost Bone Dragon's huge bone wings flapped and slowly landed. Eten stood with his hands on his back, descending to the battlefield like a banished immortal. His stern face was full of pride, and just standing there made countless lords below boil and scream. So handsome. Lord Eten is so handsome. Wow, look at Mr. Eten. Those eyes, that nose, those eyebrows. Ah, I can't do it anymore, I can't do it anymore. Not only is he handsome, he is also extremely talented. Look at that Frost Bone Dragon, each root bone head looks like a grey jade carving. There are 2 maids from the Fox clan. They are so beautiful. Is that an exclusive benefit for the Purple Cave Mansion? It is said that the Fox clan is also a powerful clan in the Myriad Worlds. If you can win the favor of the Fox clan's maid, you may even have a chance to be favored by the Fox clan's big shots. Jong Ching Yong and the others also have a Purple Cave Mansion, right? Why don't they have a maid? Haha, Eten fought by himself, and they fought as a team. Can it be the same? Quote. The arrival of Eten made the whole place excited. Especially the female lords, all of them looked like little stars, looking like nymphos. It seemed as if Eten waved and they couldn't wait to crawl over. Listening to these crazy words, Lin Shu was speechless. What a grey jade carving. This is obviously because the bone material is too poor and only bone dragons with grey bones can be recruited. In terms of material, it is no different from the material of the slag skeleton, that is, the initial unit is forced to sublimate to become the rank 7 bone dragon. It is estimated that the initial attributes are not much better than the rank 6 unit, and are not even as good as his Death Knight. But if nothing else, the way Eten appeared was amazing. He is so talented that even he is envious of her. Those who can fly are still more noble than those who cannot fly. Ice Dragon Breath. Eten looked at the frantic scene below, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. Along the way, he thought about the scene when he arrived countless times, perfectly displaying his power in front of everyone. But when it really came, the other lords' enthusiastic reactions were still a bit beyond imagination. Very satisfied with this arrival, the corner of his eyes unconsciously glanced at Jong Ching Yong, who was standing on the stone. The corners of his mouth raised and his heart felt as good as drinking ice water in June. This is the effect he wants. As the owner of rank 7 arms, he is the absolute king of cemetery of size. All people must look up to him. The ice dragon was so high up that he did not land completely. He only stayed at a height where others could see him but couldn't see clearly. As a king, you must let others have the consciousness to look up to you. But this is not enough. Just having a high level of strength is not enough to make everyone surrender. It has to be matched with absolute strength. Eten remained calm on the surface, but he was constantly thinking in his heart. The ice dragon's mouth opened slightly, and a breath of ice fell accurately on the undead bear king, who was struggling to move. Another massive 5-digit damage. The movement speed and attack speed of the undead bear king have been reduced by 80%. Don't worry about it, just try your best to deal damage. Seeing the undead bear king moving in slow motion under his attack, Eten said with a smile. As a king, you not only need others to look up to you. You still need to give some benefits, so that you can gain the worship and admiration of most lords to the greatest extent. Yeah, thank you, Brother Yi. Brother 666. Ha ha ha, come on, this is our best opportunity to deal. It's so cool, even skeleton warrior can't beat it at this speed. Quick, quick, quick. Send all the troops up. Big boss is mighty. Quote. All the lords in the battlefield below cheered suddenly, shouting that Big Brother 666 had sent out all the troops. There was no repulsion at all, as Jong Ching Yong had scolded them before. Comparing the two, Jong Ching Yong was immediately frustrated. He couldn't help but glance at Lin Shu resentfully again. It's all your fault. Quote. Lin Shu glanced at Jong Ching Yong inexplicably, wondering what was wrong with this man. But now that he has no chance, he doesn't bother to pay attention to Jong Ching Yong. He directly sent out all the troops, doing crazy output. Minus 26,954. Minus 28,741. The frost bone dragon hung high above everyone's heads, spitting out the ice breath as if it was free of charge. The undead bear king was almost wrapped into an ice rice dumpling. On the ranking list, Eten's damage is also increasing at an exaggerated rate. 10 seconds later, he surpassed Lin Yao and reached second place. Half a minute later, he surpassed Jong Ching Yong and reached third place. 6,666. As expected of Mr. Eten, number 1 on both lists. More than 400,000 damage was done in half a minute. Now he is number 1 in the 3 rankings. Boss Eten is too strong. I think this year's Rookie King is bound to be won by Boss Eten. Absolutely, not everyone can have rank 7 arms. It would be a big deal if one appeared in one term. It is our honor to appear in our cemetery of size. Boss Eten is mighty. 1 inch. Quote. Seeing that Eten instantly defeated everything and climbed to the top of the list in less than half a minute, everyone in the audience cheered even more. Their faces were full of pride, as if they were the first. Many female lords were even more excited and their faces turned red, shouting that they wanted to give Yi Tiansheng a monkey. Even Eten, who was standing high in the sky, was grinning from ear to ear. The proud Eten couldn't help but click on the ranking list, and saw his name shining brightly at the top of the list. The subsequent damage is increasing at an exaggerated rate. Far beyond the 20th street. It's not bad. It's just a purple cave mansion that was conquered by a large team. I will definitely break into the white cave mansion tonight. But if you have no choice, you can ask for help and see if you can break into the black cave mansion. Eten couldn't help but have wild thoughts, and broke into the black cave mansion on the third day. Such an achievement is quite explosive even if we look at the entire history of human race lords. This name. No 8, Lin Shu. The 7th one. The Frostbone Dragon was outputting steadily, and Eten couldn't help but look down as he had nothing to do. Appreciating the growing pain between others and himself is only the ultimate enjoyment for him. Because this allows him to intuitively realize how powerful he is, far more powerful than anyone else. But soon, he noticed a name. Surprisingly, just like him, the damage increased at an extremely fast speed. The ranking is also rising rapidly. When I first noticed it, it was only 7th. In the blink of an eye, he reached 6th place, and now he has reached 4th place. This person, his output is so strong. Eten was immediately shocked. If it was just that, he wouldn't be shocked. But he took a closer look and found that his injuries showed no signs of being separated from Lin Shu. He is even being chased at a steady speed. How is it possible? The output is higher than mine. Eten turned pale in shock and muttered to himself in disbelief. He looked towards the battlefield below, trying to find any trace of Lin Shu. However, he arrived late, and everyone on the battlefield was fighting desperately at this moment. The heads are shaking and the dead are coming one after another. In the chaos, who can tell who is whose soldier? Naturally, Eten could not be the only one to discover a rapidly rising ranking. Soon someone also discovered this lord named Lin Shu, and the damage was often in the tens of thousands. Unconsciously, he has surpassed Chen Hongguang and ranked 4th. Who is Lin Shu? Why did he suddenly jump to the 4th place? Hiss. This damage, more than 20,000 yuan at a time. 3rd place. This guy isn't even slower than Mr. Eten. I'm going 2nd place. Isn't Jong Ching Yong 2nd in the 3 rankings? He played for more than an hour first. Why was he suddenly surpassed? I heard that the person named Lin Shu who ranked 2nd in Cave Mansion yesterday, but Jong Ching Yong and several people teamed up to defeat the Purple Cave Mansion, and then he entered 2nd place. I also remembered it. Lin Shu was the first to occupy the Blue Cave Mansion on the Cave Mansion list yesterday, but it was only after Boss Eten captured the Purple Cave Mansion that he became 2nd. So, could it be that Lin Shu is really better than Jong Ching Yong? It's him. It must be him. The one who was having a hard time with Jong Ching Yong just now was Lin Shu. Death Knight. 6-star hero Death Knight. Yes, that's him. Quote. Countless lords in the battlefield were in an uproar again. The question of who Lin Shu was lingered in everyone's mind. The talented lords were able to figure out Lin Shu's past in an instant, and even guessed Lin Shu's identity. Countless people looked at Lin Shu in an instant. Lin Shu was the center of attention. The limelight even surpassed that of Eten. But Jong Ching Yong, standing on the stone, looked like a clown at this moment. Listening to the analysis and exclamations one by one, and then looking at myself who has fallen to 3rd place on the ranking list. His face suddenly turned green and white, and he just felt hot. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.